Don't actually know those lyrics. Hello, I am the Ronan Pawn. Welcome to a twitch.tv/Ronan Pawn live stream on twitch.tv/Ronan Pawn. Your pigs can go to hell because I don't actually know those lyrics. There's parts of it that I don't understand, and you know, I close friends with the fellow who wrote and performed the song. But I don't know what he's saying, and the best music is like that, you know? When's the last time you listened to Lithium by Nirvana? Huh? Yeah, my friends, and today I found them, just broke our mirrors, you know? Welcome to a twitch.tv/Ronan Pawn live stream on twitch.tv/Ronan Pawn. Hello, MG, Raven and Mabel. And Little Magnets and Hologram 1, can we stick it in the man instead? Ideally, it being a large sword? No? No, we won't be doing that today. We'll be playing Kerbal Space Program instead is what we're going to do. Also, bitches, we're going to be playing the Kerbal Space Program today, and I have no rants for the first 2 hours of the stream today as I did yesterday, so we'll just open up KSP and get into it. I'll tell you what, people, I'm a little bit tired. Right now, it's 2:30 p.m. in the Eastern time zone where I is, and I'm a little bit tired right now. My back is very, very hot. I did some gardening. I woke up early, for me, anyway, relative, you know, it was pre-noon, so that's early for me, but you know, early for most people who don't have to, you know, show up to a job anyway. I woke up relatively early and just felt like, you know what? This is getting out of control. Front of the porch where we got like two little areas that I carved out because I've been gardening. I carved out for like the flowers that I don't have any of. But you know, I got little spaces there. It's just getting out of hand. Weeds are growing in massively. So I went out there and as the sun was rising, and was it rising too? I put some sunscreen on, face, earlobes, shoulders, neck. That was enough, right? My back feels like it's slightly on fire right now because I was hunched over the garden with the rising sun in the east behind me as I clean things up. And you know, I'm a man with a chronic genetic condition in the way of fatigue and stuff. So the fact that I'm able to do this it's good times, generally speaking, but going out there and cleaning it up, very satisfying. I have allowed certain weeds in my garden to grow into full-on plants. Like the last time that I gardened, I chose those weeds to let be there, and they're now like 6-foot tall stalks. I mean, not 6 foot, but they're really fucking tall. They're up to 4 feet high or something, just a stalk with... It looks like weed, honestly. And if it were, alright, but it's not, damn it. It's just weeds, you know, the plural. It's the, but I got those out there. I got my hostas, which they got little orange flowers that come out. Those have been blooming. Look very nice and everything. But so I cleaned everything up. I went over to the empty lot that's next to my house, and I dug up some little blue flowers. Also weeds, basically, like the leaves on them and stuff. Probably basically just weeds. But they do put some little blue flowers out of them. Dug a couple of those up, stuck them in places. You gotta go out to like a nursery and buy plants. I don't know if you've heard of outside or not, but it's a thing, and no one can charge you money for it. I mean, they can. All the land is somebody's, but you know, if you just do it quickly and quietly, who's gonna be any other wiser? What the F? We pay you to rant, not game. Genuine suggestion for warm back. Sit sideways on your chair if the shape supports it. Use an armrest to support your back. Hey, if I hadn't broke both of the armrests off this chair in frustration while I was speedrunning Cluster Truck, that would be a good idea, but it's not a bad idea. But yeah, it's very, my back is very warm right now. I was hoping that I would, you know, pick up some color out there, dude. That was part of it, was I'll get some sun, maybe I'll get a little bit of not a tan. I don't really tan. I go from, you know, just ivory is the tone, I would say. So I go from ivory to crispy. Just and then in the middle there's some transition phases, so it looks like I've got a glow. That's just the burn right before I'm completely crispy. No, but I can pick up some color, and I probably did somewhere on my body, probably on my back. But it was good, you know, getting outside, doing some manual labor in the sunshine, and it was a relatively cool morning for the sun beating down. We've had some good temperatures and some good breezes the past few days. Outside, what is this outside you speak of? Well, it's where you steal the flowers from so that you don't have to buy them at fucking bovines or whatever. Someone give it bovines? Bordines. I was thinking of bovines. So at the Cowery, it's a Cowery. At the Cowery, you get flowery. Someone give him like 20 subs so he can afford a new chair. It's a fine chair. It's cracked everywhere. It was the cheapest, you know, gamery looking racer chair. It was well reviewed when I purchased it for like $80 or something. I mean, you got to spend money on a chair. You're going to sit as much in as I have this one, and it's lasted me with some level of comfort for a while. I may need to study this outside of which you speak. It's a thing. It's basically just pretty much all of the space that isn't, you know, your organs. That's what you're looking for. Once you locate that, you'll have found the outside. Jesus, you still haven't replaced the chair? Nope. Same chair for all these years, and you know, it's okay. Cat claws pokes from there, and then where my butt sits, just this whole area is, you know, you could like the fake ass leather, the vinyl, it's just it's most of it's you know, you can see what it once was. I could use the texture. If I took a picture of that, I could texture like a volcano level in a video game with how the butt part of my chair looks. It's got character. That's it, Jolting Eon. It's got character, and so do we. Wake me up, because I'm already tired from being awake for... It's 2, and let's say I was up at like... I don't know when I was up. I was probably out working in the friggin' yard by 10, if not earlier than that. So, it's been some hours. Already quite tired. Oh, wow, and it's morning all right, but it's a bit overcast, which is nice. It's nice to have some cloud cover there, especially when you've got a sunburn on your back, is what it feels like. A dump truck to Duna, brah, says Cold Front 27, indeed. Or is that just, maybe Cold Front, are you a bot and you just sort of copy-paste the first part of the title and then put the word brah on the end of it? I like ideas like that, you know, just like take the title and put a question mark at the end of it, and like, really? With a question mark? Just have a bot that just like spams things that probably streamers will like see and go and start replying. Interesting. I may need to study this. Oh, that's all right. We've read that. So, last time, the last live stream, we ranted for 2 hours about taxes, poor journalism, and the irrational state of the U.S. legal system and government. In that the Supreme Court says that the police are not responsible to uphold the law or do their jobs and can't be sued when they don't. And you just can't hold them accountable. The public can't hold them accountable, but the people are still accountable to call them. You know, it's just a little bit of a gap in the law there. You know, it's just a slight chasm of how do you make people actually like respect the law when the law is, they can't hold it accountable for when it makes it, but the people are held accountable for... Just a slight gap that the Supreme Court has put into the law there. So we ranted about that for 2 hours, and then we did 5 missions in a single launch, and we made very close to 1 million like we got up to, we're at 971,943 Kerbucks, but we made probably 450,000 Kerbucks on those 5 missions in a single launch to the moon. And at the end of that one, I said there's really, like, the whole coming back to Kerbal Space Program was a subscriber goal. We got there, and the goal was to land on Duna. We would start up a hardcore career mode, and we would get to the point in the game where we land on Duna. And we have been ready to leave for Duna for the past 3 or 4 streams. Like, we could have done it, and now we've unlocked the big tier, so now we can absolutely do it. But I'm still enjoying myself. That said, I don't know what else to do, so what we're going to do, what I wanted to do before we left, because this is always an enjoyable thing for me, was I wanted to build a orbital dump truck. Okay, we got a couple of things in orbit here, mainly the debris from recovering Kerbals. Aldrich's debris has an apoapse of 87 and a periapse of 79. That needs to be pushed down out of orbit. Is there anything else we've still got in orbit? We've got Sam Gas's wreckage. I don't know who these people are. They all got renamed after people in chat. We have an apoapse of 86 and a periapse of 71. That needs to be pushed down as well. And then Valong's Hulk, 83 and 81. So we've got 3 of these. There used to be a stranded Kerbal in them craft in orbit, and it's just trash. And somebody needs to take it out. And I think it's going to be whoever flies the dump truck that we're about to build. But I want to do an orbital dump truck, and I got, like, really stupid ideas for this. We've got so many parts and so much technology here. I'm half tempted to try and do a space plane dump truck, you know? Something that flies to orbit with wings and switches over, and then it's carrying up liquid fuel that... I don't know if that works, because I got these 2 different concepts. One is... a space plane of a dump truck, which is a cool idea. But the other one makes a lot more sense, and it would be to build a rocket that has this dump truck vessel on it that's going to have a claw so it can go up, grab the items that we need to deorbit them, and it should have an excess of fuel on it, and we just leave it up there. We don't have any extra pilots around, so it might be probe controlled even. Yeah, it's just a dump truck, leave it up there probe controlled. But as it goes up, considering that it is a dump truck and it would need to refuel at some point, the idea would be to launch along with it a refueling platform that would have docking ports, not only for connecting to it to refuel, but docking ports positioned so that it could be the first piece in what could ultimately become our like proper LKO space station at low orbit at Kerbin. That's what LK, at low Kerbin orbit space station. So like the fueling platform that we can build off of. So it would bring up fuel that it doesn't spend, leave that in orbit, the dump truck breaks off with its own fuel, goes and does its mission, and then at any point that the dump truck needs to refuel, it can just, you know, blow its apoapse up for, you know, a rendezvous, spin around a couple of times, go over to the fuel, pick up some more fuel, and go do some more work. Huh? Huh? I think that would be nifty. I think that's a better idea than trying to make a space plane. It's been so long since I've done a space plane. Oh, thank you for the cloud cover. I'm so fucking hot. But I think, yeah, it's been a while since I've done a space plane, and space plane isn't going to carry up a fucking refueling platform. I mean, it could, but I don't want that to be the first space plane that I build in a fucking decade or whatever. You have 20,000 on YouTube. Nice, says Coldfront27. Yeah, in fact, like, I don't know, have I hit it? Did I just, like, out of the blue hit it? Because I want to check that. So it's 24 subscribers from 20,000 as we sit here live streaming right now. Pretty fucking cool. Pretty fucking cool. You're close not to hit it yet. I just rounded Coldfront27. Yes, 24 subs. Can we get them? Or can I get people to unsubscribe with the video I just posted to YouTube that is titled Kerbal Space Program is a Poorly Designed Game? Because I've definitely already gotten some thumbs downs on that video, and I was like, yeah, that'll get some fucking engagement. I expect the comments section and the thumbs downs. We'll see if we get the comments section, but we've already got the thumbs downs coming. So, yeah, that's my plan. It's a plan that doesn't require a mission. We'll stop in and see what they want us to do. Explore Eve! They want us to go to Eve! We haven't gone to Duna? Do they send you to Eve before Duna? Your lucky day. Head to Eve, pass by it, easy as pie, expires in an hour. No, I'm not going to Eve. It's Duna or Eve. That's what you get in the world. That's what we're going to get out of, you know, real spacing on Earth here in the human. And I say you should be going to Eve instead of Duna. I don't know why you'd want to go to Duna in the real one. Science data from space around Minmus, satellite in orbit. You know, No. No, it's not at LKO. Don't even think about it, Pawn. Bring a moonstone back with you. People are getting stoned on the moon again. God damn it. I told these Kerbals. Satellite in specific orbit, again, very, very high. Moonwells and Moonwells debris from orbit of Minmus. So if I accept this mission, it just puts debris in orbit of Minmus for me? Cool. And then I go pick it up and you give me... 52,000. Alright. Position satellite in Minmus. Recover Burley and Burley's debris from Minmus. Wow, there's lots of people leaving debris around Minmus right now. None of that. None of it. I'll have none of it. I've got my own mission for today, and it's to build a dump truck. Speed run, build the dump truck. No, I have been enjoying Kerbal Space Program all the more since I slowed down and started building things that I liked. And, you know, taking the time to get things just the way that I like them and whatnot. In fact, I'll show you. Anyone who's been here for all of them, but let's see. What the Combo Minmus mission? The Combo Minmus mission was this craft. And when you get down underneath the fairing, delete the fairing, you've got these two crafts. The probe, or this was actually, yeah, this was a satellite that we left in orbit of Minmus, and then we've got this lander here, and I just love it. I love the little, it comes out and it flares back down, and then I needed a docking port on the bottom of it for a different mission. It wasn't really helpful for this one, but it was adapted from a previous design, and I like that. So I got the four engines off the sides, the Oscar Bs with the landing legs on them, and then these fuel attachment. Doesn't even need to be there, but it looks cool. And then we used the baguettes for a little bit extra fuel, because it looks like you could break them off and land in water, but you can't, because when you do come home with this, and we did, that whole section breaks off. But it just looks fucking neat, and it does all the things, it's got all the stuff and whatnot, and everything is just the way that I wanted it. And when I build like that, I'm always that much happier. So 26 Moon Duper. Alright, so we'll be building the 27th craft. 27, very good number for me. I like 27. 27 is nice. And we're thinking that it will be a probe-controlled dump truck, which means that the least weight that we can get away with, yeah, that will go up to orbit and push things around. So starting with the probe, anybody got any ideas for the old dump truck here? Can't unlock any more tiers, so whatever we've got is what we've got. You know, I'm of half a mind to actually give it, like, a little onion on it, too, or something where you could have, especially an inline cockpit. It's 1.03, it's got an incredible, like, impact tolerance. 1.03 it seats 1, whereas this would be 0.84 in seat 1. Right, so that would be the better idea for that. And it can be empty, but it could just be, like, it would be a good way to pick up a Kerbal, but then you'd have to bring the dump truck back down if you did that. Unless I gave it escape. No, you're going way, that's too much. The mission is already multi-part here. You don't need to add anything to it. It's going to be an unmanned craft, no room for Kerbals on board. So we're dumping Duna today, says SoCared? Well, here's my thought, is if the dump truck comes together in a reasonable amount of time, you know, less than 5 hours, he said, I'm just taking my time getting into a live stream. You know me, I like to sort of just ease in. But, yeah, I think the two missions that I have on the docket, in my mind at least right now, are dump truck, deorbit the craft that's around here, put up that fueling station, all that happens in one launch. And then the next mission would be, let's send a satellite, a probe, to Duna, and see what the problems are going to be with trying to get to fucking Duna. So it's a dump truck to Duna, in the way that it's, you know, soup to nuts. In the way that it's A to Z. Dump truck first, then Duna at the end. So, probe, and the things that a probe will require. Let's go, you know, let's not be timid about this, because I want it to be big and beefy and hefty and mean. I don't want you to be a relay, you're a vessel, but I do want to unlock and use the new, you know, antenna that we haven't had until now. Huh? Not there, but, you know, so we're going to use that. How do you want to build this? What do you want to build this? When do you want to build this? It should be just stay in orbit, never come down kind of a thing, so it doesn't, you know, aerodynamics only need to be there for liftoff, is my thought. as I sit here today, as I sit and speak before you now, these are my stupid ideas. Don't listen to them. Ooh, the small nose cone. Okay, so really what you want to do, Pawn, is you want to focus on the claw, and then we'll deal with everything else. We've got the claw somewhere. I don't know where it is. Is it under utilities? Is it under robotics? Perhaps it's under robotics these days. Doesn't look like it's under robotics. Command and control? Wouldn't be structural. Coupling. Coupling for the claw? And they've got grabbing unit junior, which I've never seen before. It's the right size. It's the right size. Okay, what are is there limitations with this? No fuel crossfeed for the grabbing unit junior, and this one also has no fuel crossfeed. Okay, you're gonna need your own docking ports and stuff because we're gonna need to be able to dock to our refueling station. Good thing to note there. But drop the fucking thing. So this, if we deploy the arm, that's our claw. That's our claw ready to go out and grab thingies. So it's supposed to be a dump truck, people. So it will get bigger. Would be the idea. Just give me a moment here. Decoupler. No. I might get structural with this thing. I might be silly and stupid with this thing. In fact, give me an octagonal. Yeah, like that. I think that makes sense and will look good. Might even do more than one of them. 0.001 tons. Might stick with the one is what I was saying. Just the one is really all you need. Maybe we'll have another. We're gonna need electric on this thing. We've got the big Z400s. It won't need them. 2 batteries, and for, the sake of making things look nice and whatnot. Center of mass on this thing. Don't worry about center of mass, just throw on some extra reaction wheels. So, yeah, my idea would be you. And that would be, kind of, that's our arm right there. And in fact, because I did say I wanted it to look a certain awesome, let's see how this would end up looking. I don't hate it. I don't hate it yet. I will get there. I will get to hating it. The claw! Space trucking. Indeed. So... what else does this need? It's going to need power generation, my friend. We don't really have anything to attach to yet. Do you want to be able to pull them in with the ones that are deployable and retractable? Does it make a statement on here about deployable, retractable, or is it just something you have to figure out by putting them on there? Solar panel cannot be retracted. Okay, so it says it on the ones that can't. Yeah. Alright, so I think for this kind of a vessel, I actually would want the 3x2s. These can be retracted. Want to put it up here? Probably not, but it's where it's going to go for now. And then we'll figure it out in time. So there's you guys. You're out. You'll be like that. You don't really want that there. Definitely don't want that there. Alright, so but we'll keep that in mind. Still got to build. From here, let's start putting some fuel on it. I mean, it's a dump truck. It's an orbital dump truck. I don't think I want to put any science collection on it. I could put some scanners on it. It could be seeing what's below the equator of Kerbin, because it's never really going to leave there in my plans. But just worry about the fuel, friend. Worry about the fuel. Okay? I mean, it certainly gets her done. And that is LFO in there. Sure. Maybe. Sure. Barely missed the beginning this time. Hello, on Keel 1. I see you there. Take the debris to Duna. We could grab the debris and drag it to... Good idea. I'm all for that. Retract these solar panels. We'll figure out where we're gonna put them later. But it is a fucking dump truck, baby. Do you want to make it that big, Pawn? I might. You got a problem? You want some of this? I might want to make it that big. It's a dump truck. Dump. It's not gonna need this much fuel. Don't need this much fuel. Yeah, maybe that's too much. We'll come back to it. From you, you know what I like doing with my crafts actually is shit like that. So maybe we do, a core and then some other things. Yeah, you feel me, right? Ooh, in fact, I might could be convinced to do like this, and then go like, that's the wrong one. Then go like that. It's a lot. There's a lot going on there. I don't hate it, and that would give us a place to actually put these solar panels. We're also going to need to, however, be able to attach via docking ports, which means they're going to have to be somewhere. If the solar panels were on the hex, I just don't want them like so far out that it's gonna, you know, we could bump into the thing that we're trying to grab with that. Should be square if it's a dump truck. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna be able to build in square fuel tanks in this game, sadly. I could line it with them though. That is true. Oh, the way that you penetrate. Oh, the way that you want to penetrate though. If I did that's the nearest place where those would be okay. I mean, alternately, I could just say balls to that kind of deployable thing. Grab these the big panels, and just have two of them on there like that. But those would not be, you know, they wouldn't make any effort to face the sun, which is a big benefit of having these ones. They do kind of look nifty and make it look a little bit more boxy. But they also would be on the exterior of the craft as we're going up. We're never going to need this amount of electric generation for this dump truck. And we're not going to need this amount of fuel either. I'm finding what it is that I want to do that's going to make me a happy boy. Considering that this would be delivered to orbit by a stage and then it's just in orbit. And that's kind of what it is, who it would be. The engine that it would require, I would say, for Orbit of Kerbin would be not the Spark, but the Terrier. That's 1442, and that's going to be an atmosphere. In vacuum, that's 5,852 meters per second of Delta V. She's well fueled. She's stocked and ready to go. And I think we could put some more on there. How's your TWR on that? Doesn't really matter if you're just going to be in orbit. Not that concerned about it, but maybe we're not done building it, because I like the idea of sticking some extra fuel tanks like along the side down here kind of thing, like it's up there and it's attached, and you know me, you hear me, you feel me, right? So are these the best ones that you can get? There are some that have like weird angles to them. Not that. You're too big. You're just too damned. It's a dump truck. You know? It is a dump truck. It's important to recognize that this is supposed to be a dump truck. Huh? Huh? Thick thighs. Thick thighs. Now, that's a little bit more than even I can justify. But you, and one of you and one of you, probably. Yeah, let's do it like this. So we'd have you, and then, can I get the rotation if I F, around vessels, sure. Alright, let's do this. And then if I go to rotation, and I make sure we're at absolute, and then I do the rotation, then boom, we've got an absolute connection to the ship. And what I could do, I don't want to, though, if I don't have to. Yeah, I better not. I was gonna say, what I could do is remove fuel from either of these, to account for, like, it being able to attach or something. What if I actually just used structural parts to make this attachment make sense? Do I have something structural that would help me in that avenue? Knew I, though. The modular girder segment, a little bit big, but if I twisted it down, it's still a little bit big, I would say. If I used these guys, yeah, I think I could get behind that. Can't wait to watch some space wrestling. Space wrestling? I think I could get behind like this. So, two of these, snapping on. Two of you guys, and you will come out like that. No, it'll be easier for me to attach if I just switch you over to absolute, grab it, up. These are exactly what these kind of structural parts are. You know, I build to, like, my own idea of what I think is fair. Is like a reasonable, okay, yeah, I could imagine that being a thing. So I think this would be fair, and then if I attached you guys radially, you just, with snapping, will you snap to the thing? To that. You won't snap to the end of it. It's fine, I can make you do it. Perfect, that is exactly how I wanted it. You know what, throw both of these out, because they've got their own weird rotations going on. We'll start from scratch. But I want one of you, and then the long one, right? So, you to there, grab it with snapping, touch it, and that should make it perfectly centered. It is. Let's make sure that they actually connect to one another. Do we believe that that could be tack welded there? I believe it. Do you believe it? And then off the bottom would be these. And then I can just sort of adjust this. Alright, with the absolute, if I took you up and then brought you in, just so that I feel a little bit better about how this is connected from one thing to another. I'd prefer you to be tucked in. Let's tuck them. Let's get them good tucked. They could be detachable, but I don't think I want them to be detachable. I want it to have like a whole, just a shite ton of fuel on it. None of these are from the right size to the right size to store fuel in. That's a liquid fuel. That's the right size, but it's liquid fuel only. And it's got the right curve and everything. I wish that were... How much do you store in liquid fuel? 80 liquid fuel. Do we have something that holds 80 liquid fuel? 90 liquid fuel to 110 oxidizer. 45. 72. 72. Like, if I saw something that held 80 liquid fuel, then I could match the amount. But I don't want to have to do fucking, you know, Die Hard math. Die Hard 2 math, and be like, well, if I put some in here and take it out, I could match those two. It would look cool. Curvature. Did you hear that flat earthers... What? Try making it look like boobs for a change. For a change? I would really like that to be the thing. And, you know, the weight is reasonable for how much liquid fuel it's holding, and then you'd put in an appropriate amount of oxidizer, which would be 100 and some. 100 and some. Oh, lol. It would always make refueling more complicated, though. So I shouldn't, and I won't, because it will just always make refueling more complicated. That being the case, do I have any other, like, nose cones, aerodynamics that are neater? Advanced nose cones type B. I do. I fucking do, and those nose cones are empty, so I don't care how they, you know, penetrate through the ship. Oh, I don't hate it. I definitely don't hate it. I really didn't need this attachment point now that I've done that, but you know, here we are. Ooh. I just want to make sure that the actual fuel bearing part isn't penetrating beyond something that I'm, you know, comfortable with. That's good. That's good. Okay. So we got the two of those, and the deal would be that we could put some more engines on if we wanted more thrust to weight ratio on this. We're up to 6,163 meters per second. We could put a couple of sparks on it. On the bottom. Wow, that reduces our TWR, or reduces our Delta V a fair bit. And what's it really worth, Pawn? What's it worth, though? Alfie. Who's Alfie? Why are you asking me if you want to know what Alfie thinks? Damn it. Damn it. Alright, so the other thing that this craft is going to want to have is monoprop. So, command and control, no. Apparently fuel tanks. And I want it to have a fair bit of monoprop. I unlocked new monoprop containers here. So, you? That's some serious shit right there. What's this one? Even bigger? That's the big boy. Ooh. Huh? It looks nice. It looks so nice, though. Oh, but how nice it looks. Sheila, did you see how nice it looks nice. I like it. I wish I had an adapter. You might. I wish I had an adapter that went from this size down to the small size. Like that, Paul? Like that, Paul. Oh, it's starting to look fancy now. Indeed, yeah. So there's that, and then my thought was, what if I went for the smaller monoprop tanks? What is this one? Oh, that's just got a ton of balls in it. Look at all those balls that they've stuck in there. That's a lot of balls. But you, the two of you are on here. Huh? Huh? It's just looking cool now. Serious shit, as in when this baby hits 88 meters per second, you're gonna see some? Thank you for the sub. What? I know he's not here, but still. Oh, the fellow who gave you a sub? A harpy tarara har har har? Ronan, have you heard about the clowns dressing up as a private militia in Oregon, detaining people in unmarked rented vans? Scary as hell time we're living in. Clowns dressing up in private militia as private militia in Oregon? So there's... See, you're saying those clowns, and you're using it that way. I imagined that, like, the sentence was gonna be, have you heard about the clowns who have rented vans, and they're just, like, pulling people in, and they're like, I have a balloon animal, you know, and just spraying them in the face with seltzer and shit like that. That's what came to my mind. Like, it's the clown militia, and they're like, we're gonna get you, and then, you know. They pull up in a van, and like 70 of them pour out through they just keep coming. There are like 20 of them in one car, exactly. So many clowns. Fucking terrifying. What if I took this down lower? Like, now I'm just thinking about the cool factor. Like, what's the coolest I can make this thing look? I think that's getting cooler. I'm not a big fan that the engine is there, the cone and thrust and the heat that would be transferred to these and that sort of a thing. Not a huge fan of it, but, you know, what you do in your own bedroom is between you and your God. What? I don't know. But if I did like that, I like seeing that there's a little bit of girdering there. I don't know that, you know, the girdering doesn't need to be there at all now. Oh, I think I like the shape. I think I'm liking the shape. We're down to 4,534 meters per second in delta V in this thing because of all the monoprop we're bringing up, but, you know, we got monoprop now. We don't really need that much monoprop. Like, this entire section is unnecessary. It looks nice. I did like the way that it looked, but that's how much do you carry? 20, so that's 40. We could use more, but not that fucking much, you know? And I don't think the additional engines are necessary for a craft that's designed to just sort of hang out in orbit around Kerbin and be our little dump truck to grab things with. So that being the case, if I want just a wee bit more monoprop, in terms of the fuel though, if I want just a wee bit more, then what if I finished these off, I capped this, capped that ass, like that, and then, snapping. We were in absolute, so it should have snapped to the absolute dead balls center. Well, it's kind of neat. It'll need struts. And it's also going to need the ability to, like, you know, connect to a docking something and you know, refuel and whatnot. So let's see about, like, centers of mass when full. And then let's see... Well, it's going to be a lot to drag down, but if I U to U, and then U to U, center of mass climbs quite a bit once it's getting empty, and then it goes back down, and then it goes back down. So empty weight is there. Wow. Alright, and then so I see where that is now. Now refuel all of these tanks, put the fuel back into everything, please. You don't carry fuel, you don't carry fuel, that's it. That's all the places, and it's very near. It's very near to where it would be anyway, when it's dry and when it's full. So as long as it's draining them all at the same time, then the center of mass is always going to be, you know, between here and there. So if we put our RCS thrusters along that line, then we'll be good for having like very even control authority at all times. So where do you do this? Fucking command and control pawn. Now this time I might actually do, you know, what makes the most sense. I'm gonna put it a little bit between the 2 points of where it's when it's full and when it's dry. I think that's probably the middle of that. But I might actually try and do, at this point we can go forward, we can go back, we can go left, we can go right. The only thing that we can't do is up, down, like you see that direction. We can't do that with these. It would be better if these were on without the angle though. So absolute, and then rotate to no snapping, and then to make sure that it still looks okay. I just might pull them out. I think they look nifty when they're out like that, yeah. So I could give us exclusively the ability to push up and down, and one of the things that I used to do with this design in particular was something like that. Was just to sort of force this onto here, and then add it as a, you know, part of this venting system in the first place. So first thing would be that, and then with snapping, get me the perfect absolute, and then drag you out, drag you down, and drop the center of mass so I can see this. That's pretty goddamn centrifugal. It's pretty in the middle, is what I'd say. So if I did that, then we've got all of the directions covered, including rotation. The only thing that we're not able to do with the RCS, with the monoprop in this setup. Does that look good? It looked fine, Pawn. Yes, it did. Now, I've broken it. That looks fine. It's fine. It's A-okay. Yeah, in fact, I like it. Is being able to, like, effect, you know, rotation from, like, the tip of the ship and stuff like that. To be able to go, you know, rotate like that. Or we can spin the ship with that. And we can, no, with this we can actually, and we can, yeah, does that cover all of our angles of rotation and movement that we could possibly want? I think it does. And I believe this actually works out well too, because these have a thruster power of 2 on them, and these have only a thruster power of 1. So the fact that there's just one, I can drop the thing, if there's just one of these pushing, you know, if you're going this way or that way, actually matches the velocity that's output by the 1.0 of both of these at once. So it's kind of perfect. It's almost as though they really should have put in a version of this that has all the directions on it, which is definitely available in a number of mod packs. Hey Palm, with a vessel that light, would the spark improve your delta V? That light? It's gonna be carrying all this fuel is the thing. But it didn't. Probably. Well, let's find out. I don't think I want it for other reasons, but it is a good question to ask. So we've got 5561 right now. Shit, where's the other? There it is. And it's 5474. The Spark is actually, or the Terrier is a better engine at vacuum than the Spark in terms of its efficiency, apparently. But, you know, if you don't need the weight, you're making something small, then I prefer the Sparks in certain situations. But so far, this is our dump truck. It needs the ability to dock. Am I done with, like, putting on monoprop? How much monoprop have you got? You got 20, so that's 20 and 20, and it's really just a stylistic choice. That's 40 in each, that's 80 total monoprop on here to be able to do the little maneuvers that we're gonna, you know, come and go with. And is there I really like the yellow tanks, though. Is there anything, could I stick another, not you, But like a different kind of yellow tank. That's the one we had in the middle before. You're that one. This depletes our monoprop even more. But it matches the design, or I mean our Delta V, it depletes our Delta V even more to carry that up, but it matches the design, and you bring up 120 all on your own, and these guys bring up another 80, so that's 200 monoprop that we would have in this craft. And our idea would be to push it up there and not have to spend any of its own fuel. We can, to finish off the orbit, you know, as needed. I'm not going to worry about it. It is 17 goddamn tons to push to orbit with all this fuel on it. But we want to don't get lost, Pawn, because there are other parts of this, but don't get lost. Don't start thinking about other things. We want some docking ports. Now, do we not want the big daddy docking ports, or do we want the little docking ports? I think we want the little docking ports. This is a vessel, you know? So for you, docking ports. Is that where I want to have them? It's the most out of the way, not going to break anything while we're trying to connect, you know, point. The other place that I could have it, though, is like this. Could have them on those. It's not really, it doesn't really make that big of a difference one way or the other. I'll tell you what, though, as a vessel, this would need a lot of room to park somewhere like that. This, I'm just imagining, like, you know, there's something that you gotta attach to, and if there were parking spaces, essentially, this could, like, slide up in between two parking spaces and get hit, whereas this would just make the parking space have to be wider for it. I could put them in all those places, you know? It's not like I can't just have them everywhere I fucking want them. It's a thing. Yeah, I can do what I want to, Ma. Let me make sure once more that this is perfect rotation. Okay, it is. Just these docking ports are looking a little bit weirdly angled to my eye there, but whatever. What do you think? Anybody got any opinions on the where the docking ports should be? Borderline between Spark and LV909. What about when you get below 75% fuel? I don't care, Kenneth. I'm going to go with this. It's going to be an easy attachment point, too. I think this will be interesting, then. What? Who? Maybe it came for Valent. What? Looks like something Wallace and Gromit would build to go to the Cheese Moon. I think I prefer it there. I don't like the idea of docking on one of our nacelles, you know? We've got nacelles! Another thing before I forget about it is I do want to strut these. Now, I could strut across the engine cone, but I feel like that's a little cheaty. But I also just noticed that maybe I could attach them. I can't attach it to my balls. I wanted it on my balls. Let's see what it looks like if I put it there and into there, and then it'll be sort of a choice of, like, do I say curses to realism? Fuck it. Not as though it's supposed to be an issue in the long run. And you guys, you could be closer. You could be more attached there. There's no reason to have that anymore, Pawn. Yeah, fuck it. I'm gonna remove these. They made sense at the beginning of the design, but I don't need them now. So two of you guys somewhere in there. It's one attachment point. It's one reasonably strong attachment point. The thrust will be coming from the center area. They don't need to be strutted. Is there fuel transfer to the side tanks? Should be, but let's absolutely confirm. So, fuel delivery overlay shows that we are transferring fuel everywhere. Everywhere and down to there. Yes. Yes? Yes. Indeed. I'm liking it. I'm liking it. Back. So what's you been saying about me today, says Pika Pop? What we've all been saying just only good things. Port enable staging. No. Later on they have a docking port that actually has its own, like, a blader to it or something, right? Am I right in that? The coupling? That you, like, open it up. Maybe the small ones don't really matter. Maybe they don't have that much of their own physics to them. Yeah, that seems like a good place to have them. 2, 1 on either side. Did you end up buying your new processor? No, it'll be... You know, it's actually not unreasonable to ask, because if you keep asking, I'll think about doing it more. And, you know, I paid my taxes, I filed, and I actually didn't pay anything, like I got $7 back, and I'm probably not going to pay the city of Detroit, because fuck those guys, so yeah, I'm a maybe, but I haven't yet, no. Do we want more something to that? I'm still a little bit, I'm not sure about the idea of having those there, you know, it's just not a great place. It's near where you'll try and be, like, encountering another craft if you just lose control of it and it slips past, kind of a thing. Just not the best place I can think of for having your very destructible solar panels attached. Toward the rear of the ship, gonna need comms spawn. Lots and lots of comms, my friend. Lots and lots of communications. And we were gonna use the Communicatron DS1. Difference between this and the others. So we've got 2G, 10G, 22.4G instead of 31.6 MM. So it's got more, it's got G's instead of M's. So that's good. It's got more G's but less M's. And the packet size, the bandwidth is just so much more MITs per second, which is totally not a completely made-up thing that doesn't... requires a fair whack of electric charge, though, when transmitting, but that's fine. We won't really be transmitting from this. We just need comms. We need comms, and I just might do 2 of them. Let's see how they look when they're extended. After getting done talking about how, you know, you don't want them there, because then what if the craft that you're trying to attach to slips by you and hits the ship? And then I'm like, yeah, I think I might want to put them here. This would be neat. I mean, it looks fucking cool, doesn't it? Really cool. But if I were to do, you know, instead the smart thing, I could, god damn it, it's always a different button. If they were back down here somewhere, or... It's always the last one I try. If they were on the nacelles. On the nose cone of the nacelles. Widens no. Wouldn't want it, because it's the dimensions of the ship are now increased by that sort of positioning. Could have them over here, except for the model of this, the way it's modeled it penetrates through the thing, so that looks absolutely awful to have it there, and they don't look good there anyway. I think I might have them up here, even though it's a bad idea, and if I'm gonna have these up here, even though it's a bad idea, maybe I bring the solar panels back up, because they looked pretty cool up here as well. You know? But I didn't want those like that. In fact, these would have to be, it would be the opposite. So it was, you would have been here if I decided to put them there. Hang on. I gotta get them attached to the right way so that they're not penetrating. Should be about there, and then you guys would be like that. It's such a bad idea. It's such a horrible, horrible bad idea, especially with the ability to generate power. These are at least further back. It doesn't look that cool anyway with those, but the antennas look goddamn cool, buddy. And I think I prefer the idea of having the solar panels face the rear of the ship. But and you guys, I want this profile. Yeah, I'm gonna have it like that. I mean, look at the fucking the lines of that. It's good. It's good. You know how good it is. It's just good. Yeah. Yeah. It's fine. So we've got comms. Retract the antenna. We've got electric generation. Retract the solar panels. We've got Electric storage. Do we want to do something different, though? Because we're using these little guys for 200 each. We could get 400 out of the same... It's the same weight. It's just a choice. It's just a stylistic choice of what you want to have on it. We don't need it. It's one little probe. For this much vessel, though, I'll tell you what, we're going to need some fucking control authority. Ooh. Shit. Oh, no, I've got this one. I've got this one. And it might make everything look even cooler. Have you down there. Yes. I don't hate it. Oh, but I don't hate it. How? I do not hate it. We are changing the center of mass on the center of mass. It's okay. It's okay. Yeah, especially since that's fine. It'll push us reasonably evenly. Because then as the ship drains, it actually goes lower and it's not okay. God damn it. I'll just have to line everything up again. So on the local, the absolute, oh, alright. On the absolute, if I did snapping, hold you down by 1 tick. Puts you there. And then if I snapping, put you there. Now I'm gonna have to do this one manually. It's fine. I'm just trying to find a reproducible method of moving all this stuff around so that when I go to move this one around, it'll be the same. Drag it down by 1, and then move it in. Too much shit on the screen. Get rid of the center of mass overlay. Looking down. In from the sides. Just checking my angles, seeing if I like how it looks. Yeah, I think I like that. I think that reproduces what we had before. Yep. Yep. What? Pika Pop. You clicked the wrong button. You must have clicked the... There's... Ooh, that's gonna cost you so much money. That is a bad wrong button click. Pika Pop just gifted 27 Tier 1 subscriptions to the community. Oh my god. If I read all the names, it would take me a minute. I can Paru. Yeah, it would take me a minute. Kopabka, Rudy 1291, Cold Front 27, Swift Arrow 1000, Oppression Punk, Ice Cream Man, Ascot 83, Find Any Key, X Slay Wizard, YouTube, Mikarim, Character 222, A7237231, Dot Jason, V8 248, Skydronaut, Pawnzister, Nobody 1707, Omegatron 12, Evil Sly Lex, Foray 222, Woovrin, Just Damn, Smudgely, Venient, Llama, and Condor 70. Holy ballsing balls. That's a lot of subscriptions is what that is. I didn't even set up a new goal. God, what an idiot I am. Well, we've got to get through this goal to get to the next goal. Thank you so much, Pika Pop, my god. That is a huge jump. You get a subscription, and you get a subscription, and you get a subscription. Everybody gets a subscription. Too bad he has a crap, and it's not an updated, it's already, we did it. It's not crap. Too bad XCOM 2 isn't the goal. Thank God XCOM 2 isn't the goal, is what you mean, so Karen. Pika Pop, Jesus Christ. And you know, in my little, like, monitoring the events thing, okay, I can click on it, and then it gives me more information, but it just, like, unceremoniously says, Pika Pop has gifted 27 subs. It's not even in, like, bold text. It's just like, that's a huge... Thank you so much, Pika Pop. Pika, you the best. Ronan Pawn, too bad. No, it's not too bad. If I had that much money, I would do that, too. Would you? Get this man some money. Someone. I have a really good mod list for XCOM 2 that makes it a lot more fun these days. Oh, do you? How would you suggest one goes about learning KSP? Ooh. Ooh. That's my big problem with the game, Hoodaman. That is my big problem with the game, is that the only way that I ever want to say, this is gonna be doing that for a while. The only way that I ever want to say, like, how should I learn something, is learn by doing. Just get in there and... doesn't really work with Kerbal because, I mean, one, it's rocket science, but still, you can get in there, you can do things, you figure them out, and then you come out and you gotta do some reading. Or... What you really need to do is, like, watch YouTube videos, watch other people play. Here's what I'll do, since I have no good recommendation. I don't want to recommend anybody else's videos, I don't want to, So here is my recommendation for how you learn KSP. Watch my series on youtube.com/RonanPawn, Hardcore Pawn Season 2. Because I talk about, the premises is different flying and stuff like that. It's in there. That's my best recommendation, is you've got to, you kind of do want to watch other people doing it, and especially with me, you get to watch me doing it wrong, making the mistake, people in chat correcting me, and then doing it right. So you get the full experience. The guy that you watch is some fucking rocket scientist graduate, goddamn Scott Manley motherfucker. How hard can KSP be? It's not like it's rocket surgery. It's exactly what that... And it's not even that it is rocket science. It's rocket science, and it's poor. It's not well designed in the gameplay to where it could communicate to you what you need to do next and help you learn. And it could. I'm making a list, and I'm checking it twice, Hoodaman. You want to see my fucking list? I'm not going to show you my list, but we're up to 45 things that are either bugs or poor choices, UI designs, and there's stuff up here that I don't want to show off, where I get specifically into how you can use everything that's already in the game, just change the way that you do this, that, and the other thing, and be educating players while they go. KSP will be better, I'm sure. We have high hopes. And I'm going to make a video where I complain about all the things that are wrong with KSP's design, as well as the bugs, and mainly the design is my main concern. Specifically, in the hopes that the KSP2 designers will, see that word will get back to it, and it will be a list of all the things that need to be fixed for the second one, and things that need to be considered that weren't considered, and that maybe were considered but never got patched, things like that. So we bitch around here because we love and hate. It's a little bit hate, but we do love as well. After the live streams, we do some pretty sexy loving. I've got more than enough control authority on here in terms of reaction wheels now that I've put the advanced inline stabilizer there. We've got a small one up at the tip. We've got, right on the center of mass, the ability to monoprop ourselves in all directions and rotations that I can think of. Yeah, so we're good for that. Yeah, we can H, we can N, we can rotate on all that. We've got docking ports for the sake of refueling. We've got monoprop on board. We've got liquid fuel on board. We're bringing up way more liquid fuel than we would ever need. It's supposed to be a dump truck. It's not going to need to refuel for a while, and it could actually fuel our refueling platform. It could leave some of its fuel there. Definitely not needing it all. So yeah. Is that the thing? Is that it? Am I happy? It's got all of the things to it. Let's do some action groups. I don't know why I don't get the option to do 0, 1, 9, and all that stuff straight out of the gate. You're a moron, Pawn. You thought you were done? You're not done. There aren't any headlights. You gotta have headlights, man. You gotta have headlights, especially for trying to clamp onto and dock to something. Absolutely, headlights, dummy. Jesus, God. You're gonna do rocket science without headlights. Is it your first day at MIT? Come on, man. Get it together for us. Yeah, you're not quite there, are you? The local, no, don't. Absolute. And then, I guess I'm just going to have to do this by hand, So I want them pointing out there, and I think we'll cast everything into red. We're targeting you. Scare the shit out of if we have to, go grab a Kerbal or something like that, I'm going to scare the ever-loving tits out of them when I turn those on. It's just fucking red light coming. We'll turn them on and off really fast, Do they have that in robotics? Where do you want them precisely, though, Mr. Pawn, now that you got them angled like that? Make sure we're on absolute, so when I drag up, it's up. No, not snapping. I mean, honestly, that kind of put it in a nice place that I kind of like, so... Yay, snapping, but no, not snapping. Turn you back on so I can see what the effect is going to be. Good. And then, because we do have a large craft, and we will want to look at it ourselves, I think we should give ourselves some just, you know, lights where we can see our own vessel. My issue is going to be, where do I put those lights? Snapping. Should I have target lights for this as well? I think I should. Give me you. Okay. And then if you were like that. And snapped absolute rotation. Okay, so that's straight up and down now. Were I to flip you that way and pull you up. I need this to obviously not be taller than the docking port itself. These docking ports don't have lights or anything, do they? No. So having that under there will give us some way of, like, seeing that we're getting close, I guess. And since the issue will mainly be when we're really close, maybe I want to rotate these at a bit of a harsher angle. I think you're okay there. Alright, now do we want red here? I think actually just like blue would be nice. Blue could be okay here. Turn the lights on. See what that looks like against the last wall. Yeah, for docking, it'll be blue. Are you... I think you're just over-rotated, really. It's looking cool now. It's looking cool. I'm gonna embed them, though, like, a lot, I think. It's... You know... Do I have to go to the R&D center to unlock LEDs, for fuck's sake? It's LED lighting. We don't need a giant thing like that is the size of one of my probes, for Christ's sake. It's just a light bulb. Get over yourself. So, it's like very, very shallow. I'm not trying to cheat or anything. Just looking for the place where it looks cool, looks the nicest. Okay. I think I'm gonna accept that. So we've got those lights, but I do want to point lights back at the ship. Fuck it. Maybe we just do here, because I can embed them inside the girders that we put on here, can't I? I see you have given up having the docking ports aligned with the center of mass. Docking ports? I wasn't going for the docking ports aligned to the center of mass. I did do the RCS aligned with the center of mass, however. You know, we got SAS, we got electricity. Should be okay. Or not. One of those things. But so if I attach you guys to here, I really only need one. Really, though? No. Attach it there, two of them. And then straight down. Lights on. Let's shift it toward the blue spectrum just by pulling down a little bit of red and green. So 8.5 and 0.9, and that'll be, it's just a cooler blue, or a cooler white light, rather. There we go. 0.85.8. Didn't he just not manage to get the girl after the guy? What are you talking about? Neighborhood crackhead? What? And then you guys actually make perfect sense right there. In terms of like where you are, but I don't like the way that you look presently. So go no snapping. Push you in. think I might also angle you out just a touch. Just to give it better lines, really. That will give us a little bit of light cast along our own ship. We won't get any light here, and, you know, it'll be just certain places where it's getting it, but there are no shadows thrown from the light of your own ship when going onto the ship, so it's not just lighting the front of here, it's also lighting back here. It'd be nice to have more light, but kind of hard to light your own ship. And these things are not free in terms of the Delta V when you put the lights on them. So there is a point at which it's too much. We haven't hit that point yet. I'd love to have, you know, be able to see the front of the ship a bit too. I'm not going to just, like, if they don't look good, then they're not going on, is what I'm saying to you. So, like, F, this is absolute. Oh, you're snapping. Didn't mean for you to be snapping, but if you were in like that. What if I put you right on my balls? Oh, I think I like you on my balls. I think I like it on my balls. Yeah. That looks good on my balls, and it just feels right on my balls. And I think that's perfect. It's not penetrating my balls. I think I like that. I think I really like that on my balls. Oh, that's gonna be so cool! Right off the balls like that. Oh, hell yeah. Off the balls for the win. So that would be 0.8. What do we do up here again? Like 0.8, 0.85. 0.8 and 0.85. 0.85 on the green. Green channel. Gives us some nice cool blue light on the inside. Yeah! Yeah, baby! Oh, God. Okay, you guys are talking amongst yourselves. Hey, the Lobster! Get it, Pong! You dumped that Duna trunk. Thank you. Welcome, Lobster. 181 Pika Pop. Jesus Christ, man. 27 gift subs? Just put some electric current to your balls. It's fine. What that Pawn calls this the Tonka truck. It's the dump truck already, isn't it? It could be. I have a very, very specific opinion and hate you for suggesting anything other than what I was already going to do. That's not what's happening here. We're gonna need, you know, I need fucking branding. It's my goddamn, it's how I make my living, people. Can we brand on this? That's how you want to brand. You want them to see it coming, you know? Is there a bigger one? It's for a 2.5 meter, but like, it's gonna have a different curve to the flag itself, I would imagine. But they don't really sit on it in the first place, even when it's the right size. So as long as we're gonna do this, let's see the biggest one that I can get. Yeah, no. A little bit of it. So, but this one's probably passable. Probably give this a pass. Once it's adjusted. I could probably give that a pass. To have the logo on both sides like that. Yeah. We're on that too. Does it look better anywhere else, or... it kind of looks like it's made to be right there, doesn't it? A couple of Ronin Pawn flags on there. Alright. What about the 1.25? See? That is snapped? Ah, I see. Yeah, those would be too small. We're gonna go with this one, even though it's a little bit, you know, it's fine. It's fine. Even in the game's native design, it kind of looks like that. So that's all those things. That's all those things. We could plan for this to... It's an unmanned thing. It's a probe thing, but, you know, we could plan for the idea of people being able to come out and, like, work on it or something. This is .005. It probably doesn't count as actual anything in the game. You know, a little bit of delta V we lose, but in terms of, like, aerodynamic drag, probably doesn't. So if I just had one on one side, just like for service, you know? Just for service. Or I could have 4 and just leave delta V behind for no reason. I take them off. 4879, 4885, so it's 4885. We're 6 delta V to have. Wait, it's just 12 delta V to have those there for service. You know, you need to come up and repair it because that's never gonna happen. But for service, people, it's important. And it just makes it look fucking cool. It just makes it look cool. Done it though. Oh, but done it though. I think maybe these could be lower. And maybe it's just, just one of them. I like that it was symmetrical, but maybe just one of them. And then can you snap and go somewhere good? Don't know if you want to be on the engine like that. I'm not sure. Let's just have it dead middle of the tank on both sides, right? So that's service to both those, the engine areas, stuff like that, and then there's service up here as well. 4873 meters per second of delta V stored in this ridiculous craft. Maybe this is what we send to Duna later. Why would you need such a thing? Don't the Kerbolians have their sand? What, sand? Sand? Chat's saying you have to do XCOM 2 now. Are they? Because we went over 100? No, it was 200 when I added up. And I might have lowered it to 180 though, didn't I? Damn it, I shouldn't have said that out loud. Are we actually, like, done with this craft? Because the last thing that I would do on it would be action group this sumbitch up. So we've got lights. The lights are all lighting and toggling and whatnot. I don't understand why it is that I don't get that until I click on... It doesn't show until I click on an item. Okay. Okay, but once it's up, then I have the custom things. Why aren't they there until I click on something? It's probably just a cheap way of coding in, you know, a lazy way of coding in the check to see whether or not you're allowed to stage different things. That's probably what's going on there. Okay, so custom. Custom 9. We said in Future Craft, Custom 9 was going to be for communications, so that will toggle the antennas when you hit 9. Lights are lights. They will all come on at the same time. Actually, it would be... There's no reason to have the docking port lights. So you guys, Illuminator Mark 1, let's say that you're just not in there. Which one are you, though? Okay, so that's those. That's down there. So it's these, then. You go away. So you're no longer included in the lights. So those go on, and those, and those, and those. Those are also, like, docking lights, so those aren't necessary either. So none of the Mark 1s go on with that. We can put the activation of those lights, however, on, like, these, I think would be 1. Toggle those lights. And then these would be 2. Toggle those lights. Deploy the claw. Alright, deploy the claw would also be under 1. Right? So, toggle arming. Arm the claw. Yeah. Yes, and then we'll release grapple and stuff like that. So the light will turn on and the... all at once. Anything else? Oh, well, of course, you deploying the, deploying and retracting the these. Don't really have a use for undeploying them once they're out, I don't think, but we'll have it on 3. And is that it? I think that's it. in terms of action grouping. Cool. Is there a hard mode for XCOM 2 like XCOM 1? Yes, but it's garbage, at least in my opinion. Oh, a hard mode mod. Yeah, what they called Long War in XCOM 2 is just crap. It wasn't anything. I think that's our craft. I think that is our craft, and that's what we push to orbit. Anything else? Fairing, Ronin Pawn? I could, with the tip of it here, you're not wrong, just put everything under a fairing. How much does a fairing cost to bring for better aerodynamics going up? So that'll be payload, and it would be, like, I'd be looking for a small one, but that's the smallest we get. We'd actually have to do the big one, and then detach from here, and that's gonna be 1.875 is 0.15 tons to put on a fairing just for getting out of orbit. No, don't worry about it. Just reattach. 4,781 meters per second versus 4,873. So 873. Fuck off. To 781. So that's the better part of 100 meters per second of delta V in order to have that fairing on when we come up. Kinda makes the ship look cool, though. Gotta say. Kinda makes the ship look cool. So, build the fairing? You won't let me... Alright, well you tell me when I can fucking attach it, and then we'll go from there. I have to come out a little bit before I go straight up. I think that's probably the problem here. So if we go straight out, barely, and then we can come up. Tell me when you're blue, baby. Okay, but it doesn't quite fit there, does it? No, edit the fairing, because you're gonna have to clear these objects. Ah, okay, it worked. And then, when you're blue... How do you think the aerodynamics are of the undeployed claw? Should I cover the claw as well? It's a rocket suppository, as many of them gotta flare the tip, Paul, and I flared it. It's flared. I wonder if I can stay awake for this, as I always end up falling asleep. That's because of my excellent entertainer acumen. Figured you would have put the fairing at the tip of the claw and have it reach back. I don't have a small enough fairing. I just don't have a small enough fairing for that. That way you can ditch the fairing completely. I don't have, like, look at the sizes I've got. I can't. I do have a service module, but it doesn't help. Those are the sizes that I can work with. Looks cool though. 4,781 meters per second of delta V. It's fine. You know, once it's up there, it's up there. It gets refueled infinitely from our infinite storage of fuel in space that doesn't exist and isn't a thing. So that's the ship. Yeah? Are we good with this being the ship? Because it's gonna be the 027. We're on the 27th build. 27, and this is gonna be... It's just the dump truck, baby. The dump truck. The singular. There can be only one. It's the dump truck. Why would you need more? Baby! So I'm gonna save that, and now we just need to build everything underneath it to push something that is 17 3/4 tons into low Kerbin orbit. So let's do that after a live stream break. We'll come back, we'll build the lower stage. It should be a lot easier to just, you know, put the lower stage together. That was the build. And I like to take my time doing the build, have fun with it, and then I like to step away for a 7-minute break. By the time I come back, I'll have thought of, oh, you forgot, you needed this. I don't think we're going to have that problem here because we took our time. But we're going to have ourselves a 7-minute break, opportunity to grab a snack, take a pee. Don't tell me about any number 2s that you dropped, don't need to know about it. But maybe back here in 7 minutes when we will finish off this ship, launch it, and get that first mission of the day cracked out. Don't go anywhere. Pawn not out. Yeah, it worked. Hello, I am the Ronan Ballin. Welcome back to twitch.tv/Ronan Ballin live stream on twitch.tv/Ronan Ballin. I love it when it works out perfect. I'm back to the PC just in time to not be late. Welcome back to Kerbal Space Program, everybody. We are building a dump truck. Well, we've built the dump truck that's going to go up to orbit, and it's just going to be there to deal with all of our space trash in future, at least around Kerbin, at least at LKO. It's a little bit overbuilt, but it is a oh, we go put it on screen for it. It is a permanent vessel that will be permanently stationed in orbit that is probe controlled, and I like overbuilding this kind of a thing. I don't like overbuilding for like missions that are, you know, critical. It's like it should be just bring what you need and plan for that. I like to be threadbare. I like to play like it's realistic. This kind of thing, this is where I actually enjoy myself. Calico Jack Rackham. Still running 1.8 KSP in my save, heavily modded. Most mods tend to stay in their lanes. So I was curious if he installed something that touched the comms system. I have no issues in 1.8, but I have comms mods installed as well. I would love to get some recommendations on like a good comms mod that is well balanced for gameplay. I'm not interested in realism. I don't care. Like, if I just want, when I unlock like the first relay antenna, the first relay antenna should be able to communicate with a ship that has a communitron. The basic antenna on the craft should be able to relay a signal to that at LKO from an orbit of geosynchronous. Like that is a basic standard that I think just makes perfect sense, and I can't believe that it doesn't work that way in the game, because you want people to do those missions. You want to be training people on, you know, how to play the game and how comms networks are going to be useful in the game, and the fact that they give you a mission in the game to put something up at LKO, or no, put a comms satellite up at geosynchronous orbit, and then it doesn't fucking work unless you've got that same relay antenna on every craft that you launch, is goddamn utterly motherfucking ridiculous. So I want the game modded in such a way that with the starting lightweight simple antenna and the starter first fucking relay from geosynchronous orbit, you can get communication to bounce back when you're not in communication with the base station on Kerbin, from the relay antenna to a communitron or whatever the basic antenna in the mod would be, I guess. I can do that with a save started in 1.10 with no mods. What can you do? Because that don't work in hard mode anyway. Maybe they're amping up the difficulty of communications in hard mode or something, but that shouldn't be. If it's a problem with the hard mode settings, then that's just, I'll adjust that whenever we play in future. But okay, so this is the dump truck. We want to push this thing up, and I've got ideas. I've had ideas, folks. Oh, but the ideas that I've had, they're probably very bad, and it's going to be a little bit difficult to like slip past here. It shouldn't be that difficult, Pawn. It's just going to need a strut or two is what it's going to need. So give me decoupling, and is it going to be the 18? No, that's bigger. Okay, so it's going to be the 12 decoupler to get us down. You will indeed have that fairing for you. And I've got ideas. I'm not going to go for those ideas up front. Let's just build something that could lift it, and then we'll get to my crazy thoughts that are running around in my head. That's not the right one. I love the way that this is completely unsorted, and that even when you sort by size, it's still fucking unsorted. Because I'm looking for just the tall, but straight up, just the simple tall. This one, I'm looking for that. The 800, it's at the bottom of the fucking list. What if you had it sorted by, even when you sort by mass, you don't get this kind of order that I'm describing, where, you know, it would be the I gotta add this to my list. But it's obvious. You do the 0.625 stuff, and then it's all of those getting heavier and heavier, and then you do the 1.5 meter stuff, and it's getting heavier and heavier from left to right, and so it's boom, 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 and so forth as far as fuel tanks are concerned. But that would take, you know, design as opposed to just throwing in a fucking algorithm to sort by standard default values. That would take it to actually give a shit about how the design worked. But if I haven't already put that in my list, maybe I have, maybe I haven't. Fuel tank sorting in VAB/SPH by meter, then mass. For fuck's sake. Come on. Come on, guys. Poor design choices. That one's a good actual, like, straight up... I don't expect people will disagree with that as a poor design choice in Kerbal Space Program. As long as this will slip past, which is a question, that gets us down here with some fuel, and then we could break off. In fact, maybe that's not the one I want. If we could just get past... I might combine a couple of them. So that would be, then I'm looking for you, and then, where's the... They just disappear, don't they? You and you, instead of just that one, I'm not wasting the space. I might be wasting the weight of bringing up two instead, but it will look righter anyway. And then from there, go back to name, because at least I'm getting used to how this doesn't make any sense. Actually, do you have... What about the one that goes... Yeah, that does that conversion immediately and quickly. You know, more drag, but I'd rather have it come out faster, and then you out to even bigger. Yeah, you out to even bigger, because this is going to take a lot of liquid fuel to push this damn thing into orbit. I'm pretty sure. And below that... That's not the right size. Do I have, like, the big tanks now? Those are just liquid fuel. Yes, I've got the big tanks. This guy? There you go. So I'm going to be concerned. I'm going to be interested to find out what the TWR... This is probably going to be the first ship that we actually properly need. Is it the Skipper? Like, the big motherfucker. Yeah, it's probably going to need that for TWR. 1.35 with the Skipper, that's in fucking vacuum, isn't it? Yeah. 1.18 with less than... Wow. The Skipper can't even push this sumbitch up. The Poodle ain't gonna help us either. But the Skipper with... I could do some asparagus staging on here, but what if I just added some of you for TWR and actually made the craft longer? You know, made it... There's more fuel. So give it more fuel with... a half stack, and then added you guys on for TWR. Now we're looking at you would want to fire alongside them. 2,209 for 1.33. That's doable. I mean, 1.18 was doable. If I pull this back off, that's 1.0. That's when we turn them on, which would be presumably around 8 kilometers, it would be 1.10. It's just, you want some fucking control authority. 1.3 is what I'm going to go with. You would be in that stage. Don't worry about that. We'll do it at sea level. That's what I'm used to. So a couple of those would get the job done in terms of giving us the TWR and the Delta V that we want out of that stage. But we're going to need some serious fucking liquid fuel to make this happen. Go bigger. Wait, did anybody say that? Go all or nothing. Big ass engines. Yeah, so we needed the biggest one and it still wasn't enough. So, SRB stage. I'm probably gonna go with them standing off. And if I'm gonna have those there, and I am, then we're probably gonna need fucking 4. So take me up to, with snapping, and then 4 of you guys, and it's gonna be the big motherfuckers. Engines, it's probably gonna be the kickbacks. Kickbacks are the skinny ones, right? For another 1,332, with TWR of 1.5. Okay, so this could be scaled back.
Go big or go home.
The Pollux, though, I mean, they're enormous, but, like, I could get away with fewer of them. Like, I might be able to do this with just 2 of them, if they stood off enough from the upper ship. They don't, but 1,494 for 1.4. I would like to make these work. So you would be as low as I can get you. In fact, I might just detach you and put you on the other part, because right now it's on that center tank. But if I put you down here with the snapping, like that, and then I wasn't going to have it this low, though. I was going to then bring these up to something like that, and then deal with the fact that they don't stand off enough. How much can I do this? And it still, like, looks like we're penetrating and we're holding. You can do it that much, Vaughn. These are in the wrong place, aren't they? You are not on the axis. It's really hard to get them on the fucking axis. Because you can't goddamn see what you're goddamn doing while you're goddamn doing it. You know what I'm saying? Okay. And then, again, with the drawing out. Not too far. Little as I can get away with. It's a lot of ship. I would like these. They're gonna fall inward when they fall, unless I put the right kind of nose. I probably don't have the right kind of nose cones on them. Are you guys not on the fuck? What's going on? Huh? Okay, that's centered, but now you guys aren't on the fucking thing. There you go. God, fucking damn it. I should add that to my list. I'm tempted to add that to my list, that you can't see where you're placing a thing while you're placing it in the fucking VAB, so how do you know? But it's, you know, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do, you know? Let's see about the aerodynamics for nose cones. You're a type A. So drop that. What about you? Are you of a size I could use on these? You're a little bit bigger than a size that I... Is that genuinely bigger than I need? Apparently it is. The small one down here, very small, tiny. Oh, you have very small and tiny? I didn't know. But it's looking like I don't have any nose cone for this size. You know, these don't go. That's a case for an adapter then, Pawn. Structural. You, no, you. No. It's a case for an adapter, and they don't give me a fucking adapter that matches. So why do you unlock parts that I can't use? Game, why do you do that? You to there. It just don't do. It just don't do, my friends. Closest thing I could do would be not that one, but this one. This game, the lack of fucking balancing. We could use an emptied liquid fuel tank, because surely we've got those in the right size. And then if we just drew all of the liquid fuel and oxidizer out of it, at least we get down to something that I can put a goddamn nose cone on. Aerodynamics, that's going to be too big for that, yes. But this one would actually fit it and look really stupid. Let's see the very small nose cone. Oh, that is very small. Show me the tiny one. Oh my god. Did I even put it on? I don't think, no, it's right there. That'd do, right? The fuck is that supposed to attach to? I love that it's there. I love that it's there. And that's the one that's no. So maybe if we did an adapter that went to a liquid fuel tank that went to this size instead. That's actually what I'd like to put on it, would be that, because I want it to push off when we detach. I want these to strip. Strip, baby. So if I don't know if this is a good idea or not. It's probably a huge waste of fuel and all those things, but if I did that and then I emptied you of all the fuel and then I did that, it's good. It's perfect. Just what I always wanted. As a non-separator time in your KSP career, you can place the decouplers higher up on your rocket to kick the boosters away. You can just part move the boosters on the decoupler and strut the bottom. Oh, okay. Yeah, that does make sense. In fact, I could strut them to the main, to the dump truck up there. Or I mean, put the decouplers on the dump truck there. But this would work too, right? I mean, the other thing I could do is just say force percent, like none, right? Or just very little force percent on these, and then they just let go, and we would be generating our own delta V, and so they would fall away and drift away. I think I might do that. Because I like, you know, this is my particular brand of stupid, and, you know, probably won't work, and that's what the people tune in for, so... Kind of, yes, that's kind of, you're correct there. So with snapping, from you, probably look good. You know, once it's been spent and used and sent somewhere else. So those are now strutted to one another to hold it at the top, and then we're holding as near to the bottom as we can, so that should hold it in place, and then these, the air should be pushing, and that should aerodynamically drift them off in those directions. Put fins on the boosters to drag them away. That's a thing I could do too. Huh? Certainly is that. My own little brand of stupid. You love it though, don't you? I haven't used these boosters yet either, so part of it is just me wanting to use the boosters. So Delta V at sea level, 1,488 out of these sons of bitches. That is way more than we want. 1.4 TWR is a little bit more than we'll want off the pad as well. I'm not done building though. I'm not done building, so let's not worry about that. But I am hating the fact that it's more Delta V. I mean, I can just drag some solid fuel out until we get it down to where we want it to be. Because with 2200 DV at sea level in the upper stage, you know, if we have 1200 in the solid rocket boosters, even with some drag, we're gonna make orbit. So that's what we'd want, is right there. And that's 1.61 TWR, which will also have to be reduced significantly. This is a $41,000 dump truck we're making so far, and I ain't done with it. And there will be the drag of it, like, trying to rip itself in half as it's going up, because the nose codes are pulling out even as we're moving. This is perfect. This is oh, I can't launch it? The mass, I have exceeded the allowable mass on my fucking launch pad. Holy shit. Oh. I can't, why did you even give me those boosters if I can't even launch 2 of them attached to a lot of other stuff? Wow, finally we hit 140 tons. Damn. Time to upgrade the launch pad. Maybe. I mean, this is arguing, especially for having to do this shit and attach, you know, empty fuel canisters. This is arguing for me putting on more boosters, and the fact that I gotta drag out. We're gonna do it the other way. God, that was so good though. That was so like my brand. But no, we're gonna do it the other way. I wouldn't feel satisfied. I wouldn't feel right about it. Wouldn't feel satisfied at this point. So again, 2 of these, far down as I can get them.
Balls.
Balls, indeed balls. Pika Pup with 100 bits to follow up the 27 subs in a day. Thank you so much, Pika. Pika-pee! So it was gonna be the kickbacks then, and it was gonna be 4 of them. I think we could get away with 3 too, I'm not sure, but if we use the kickbacks, you're on the center and everything. If we were to use the kickbacks, they're better too in terms of like height and everything. Or we could, at this point too, I think maybe we could do what Dramacine was saying. And move these, ooh, but it's not gonna, there's not a good attachment point. And I don't want to attach them up here because I'll be left with that on my nice dump truck, so nope. Nope, not for this, not today. Drag you up a bit. And we'll deal with moving those out as well. This is only 855 meters per second at delta V, and at sea level 1.12, which is why we're going to need more of them. But we could probably get away with just 3. What are you doing? 3. So if we were going to do 3, then with snapping, I want it like that. And then it's actually not going to hit the ship on any side. 3-sided symmetry, you know, that always works out for us, right? Never had a problem with that. That's 1117 at 1.37. That's like a very good use of everything that we got here with a mass that we can carry up, 1.3.2, just under our weight requirement for this pad. And in a size that we can actually put some fucking nose cones on. Isn't that lovely, game? So I would like them to twist. I would still want them to twist away. I still want them to pull away. So if I put you on there, make sure you're snapping here, and then I just rotate you to the angle that is appropriate for this one to pull away. Not push in, but pull away. Yeah. Oh, that actually looks really fucking cool. Really fucking cool. I keep running into this too. 140 tons isn't a lot, apparently, huh? Apparently. Okay, so that's neat. Oh, I like it. And then we'd strut it. So, structural, struts. And... gonna be a weird strut that's gonna happen here if I do it 3-sided. I think I will try it 3-sided. I think it will work out. Remember that the strut connection point is going to remain on the ship, so if it makes the ship look like shit, then it's always going to make the ship look like shit. You to... like here. Okay, that's not at all what I expected to happen with that. Damn it. Damn it. Like, if I attach you straight to the center of this one, I would expect all of them to, you know, repeat that functionality and then go straight toward the center, which they're doing now. From this side, maybe I was off on a weird angle or something. I pulled you down and had you do... I'm thinking about what it's going to look like on the other side for the other two. So those two there, those are attached to a part that we don't actually haul up with us, as is that one. That works. That works. We're not strutted to the upper thing here. This will probably want to also be strutted to the main ship, though, here at the bottom. I think that's something that's going to want to be. Where shall I strut it? I guess on the inside. Like so. Looks good. Let's go to like here. Yeah. And then the part that's going to be there forever. Just make sure you like the way that it looks, because it is going to be there forever. In fact, it's going to be there forever. I might have it look like it's kind of part of the lighting rig or something. Nah, it's fine right in the middle. Just a little greebling. That's all that's going to be. A little bit of greebling for us. You don't really matter. But yeah, so that struts the upper ship to this. You should really like attach down to there. It's fine-ish.
Horn struts it on the catwalk. The catwalk, you do your little strut on the catwalk.
I'm a model, you know what I mean, and I do model that. Thank you, Jermaine. Imagine the headache of doing a crewed Duna mission without upgrading the launch pad or airstrip. Beyond the 140-ton limit? Because... I don't even want to think about it. It's not possible from the original starter, right? You have 30 parts. Well, maybe if you upgrade the VAB, you can do more than 30 parts, right? But you'd have like height and weight capacity, 18 tons. No, To Duna? No, couldn't possibly be. Or maybe it is, I don't know. That's our pusher stage, I think. I think that's our pusher stage. Here's the deal, though. Friends, lovers, true. The deal is, I wanted to have, like, a orbital vision book. You know? One of those. I wanted to also be putting up, while we're taking the dump truck up, a refueling platform that could become, you know, like the starting point for maybe a base. Might not end up being a base, but a refueling platform. And so the idea would be to leave some of these fuel tanks in space, you know, of the liquid fuel end of things. And these SRBs, I think, I'm going to save it as it stands right now. I think these SRBs, I can take them off and we won't lose anything. The struts would reattach right where they're supposed to. So I can set these aside while we look at this closer for the liquid fuel. What would I leave in space and what wouldn't I? I don't feel like the mainsail is important to have. There is a correct T station around Kerbin. A contract for a station around Kerbin is, I believe, what you're saying there. Is there? I don't want to build the whole station. I just wanted the fueling platform for now. I could grab it before we launch, though, you know, in the event that we come back to do it later. So what I'm thinking as I'm standing here looking at it right now is, what if this got deorbited? We broke this off, sent it away. Do I even have decouplers that size? Because I certainly haven't tried to decouple anything of that size. I do. And this would be enable crossfeed through there. But yeah, so if that fell off, and then we just had this, but it like goes all the way up to there, which is kind of weird. But you know, it's more fuel space, so we might as well bring it. Bring it or go home, right? And then it would be about just having, you know, docking ports in places that made sense. And the place that makes the most sense to me would be on a hinged part. And I've never used robotics before and don't know how it works. So there's that. But if that were to work, I think my thought would be that you would have... what do we got here? It's probably going to be this one. I know it's heavy, almost unnecessarily so, but it is a, you know, part of a size that seems to make some sense. Let's just drop it on there for now, and then if there were a docking port... Docking port, and it would be the small one is what we would need for people to be able to, for, you know, for the refueling station. So we're looking for the junior, which is what we put on the ship up there, right? Yeah, this is the size docking part that we put up there. So the docking port junior for a ship. And then, you know, that could be like that. And then if it were a part that I then, you know, like I built it so that it just, when we're going up, and then it just, when we were coming out. Something like that. Wouldn't that be nifty? Put them on wrong. Pawn, damn it, what? Pawn, they're wonky. Have you built a rocket with the asparagus staging yet? I have in the past. Definitely built a rocket with asparagus. But, yeah. Just to have a little bit of, you know, something. A little bit of something there. And since this is just a big vacant hollow thing, I'd set up some fuel connectors that just make it look like it makes sense. Pawn! What? Jim. Before you get timed out. Alright, no. Whatever it is that he had to say, he can say it in 600 seconds. Pawn, a guy called Jim. There you go. These do not look to be on wrong to my eye. Anybody else want to like comment on that, on what Jim was saying before I timed him out for just yelling in chat over and over? Pawn, they structural bits are not on right. The structure... These? That I just said, let's just drop them here for a second to see how this would work? What? What do you mean? Know what we're talking about at this point. That's why I timed Jim out. Because, pay attention and don't confuse me. It's very easy to do. It's all too easy to do. We don't need any help in that department. But yeah, the idea would be, and then you'd have, like, some fuel ducts, and the hoses would literally be for aesthetics for me. In fact, if I can get the hoses, like, on the... Well, I can merge them in once they're there. I can move both endpoints. Ooh, could I do, like, that? And then... that, and it will not actually penetrate through the part, but now that I've got the two of them, I should be able to... See if I go back inside of it with my face hole. Well, I could get in there just a second, alright, so just at an angle, and then you in. Can I grab it? I can grab it. Is it the right one I'm grabbing? Okay. Snapping off. Drag you through. All the way. So that I've got a place where I can grab it from out here. And then do like that. And it just looks like it makes some slight amount of fucking sense, you know? That would be the notion anyway, but we don't know how this is actually all going to be connected anyways. So, yeah. It can't be that simple to make, like, a hinge work, right? G11 hinge. Variety of uses, be creative. What's the range of motion on it? I presume that's the thing you say. Range of motion. Because it looks like it's got 180 degrees from the way that it's built, but surely you say here... that you don't say? You don't. Why would you put that information on a hinge? What its range of motion is? No. Why would you? Why? That would only make some fucking bit of sense, wouldn't it? What about you? No range of motion listed, but longer frame that can be used for a variety of purposes. Clamps, burners, loose, whatever. I don't know which one would be the right one. They don't cost much to buy into. Let's buy you. The largest actuator available. What size are you? Holy balls! What size are you? Jesus Christ! Fuck me in the ass! Those are all big hinges. I just need a little hinge. A little hinge. Grab the controller part too. What about these hinges? Hey! There's a size of hinge that makes some slight fucking sense. And that's huge. So, no, we would just need this. It's just to move it into position a bit. So the yellow part is what I would need as well. Let's go ahead and, like, if I put you there, and then I pulled you off, and I put you onto that, do like this. And then attach. Oh, fuck. Except for now you're rotated oddly. Although, from space, actually, the way you'll probably be attaching, it kind of makes sense. Kind of makes sense. Yeah, alright. No, you know better than I do. It's a lie. But, you know, you do. So, is this then not going to work, the idea of me having this piece that connects to a different location or something, and then, let's see if we can't break the game, everybody, by simply attaching a fuel line to a part that moves. And then, with you, target angle... Okay, it follows. It tracks. Holy shit, does it track. Alright. Well, you can't get it back to 0, though, once you move it, so that's good. Can I click the right click and... No. Can't get it back to 0. That's... Yep, you guys fucking nailed it. So this would actually want to be, like, surface mount attached to you. Well, wait. I could just do this. Right? And then find the place where it looks like they might actually be attached, and they do now. And then if I went to the actuator, and I drug it up, it kind of works. Kind of works, doesn't it? It's slightly unnecessary, but it kind of works. I don't hate it. Okay, so if you're in that position, here's what I'm considering doing right now is adding another one, just to make it seem more impressive. I mean, there's a usage too. I just can't remember what it is right now, but there's a reason, probably, for it to be like this also. And then, God damn it, you, that, you. Probably a reason for this. Almost certain of it. If I were to, well, I'm gonna have to reattach you entirely. If you click on the number, you can input number, I think. Oh, okay. So if I have the fuel line run out to here, it doesn't need to be there. It definitely doesn't need to be there, okay? But I want it there because otherwise this just looks stupid. There's nothing in there. Maybe I want to put electric cells in there too, just to make it not look as stupid. So that's target angle of -90, and then if we bring it back down, cool. And you said if you click number, if you click the number, I actually tried that. If I double click it, if I right click it, and middle click it, yeah, I'm clicking right on the number, and I can't like just input it directly either. Although that is certainly something they should fucking put in there, shouldn't it? Isn't it? Wouldn't it? Doesn't it? Angle limit? Yes. We want -90 to 0. Angle limit. Angle limit. Ah, I found it. I found the thing that I can click on, and I can't actually stop it where I would want it. I can't put it at 0. No? No? Alright. The number symbol. There's a number symbol? I was looking for a number symbol as I was looking at this unfamiliar overlay. Go back to here. The number symbol. Oh, here! Okay. And then I can just type them in. I see. That's the worst way to implement that I've ever seen. So 0 degrees is the max. Good. So that's the angle limit now. Because you could just make it so that when I clicked directly on the number, then it did the number thing, you know? Click and release on the number, and then boom, you can do the number. That's the way every other person who's ever designed anything does it. But this is good too. I like this as well. This is also nice. Oh, I noticed that this one doesn't quite move with what's going on here. It's fine. I'm sure it'll work in game. Google Pipe works, doesn't it though? Doesn't it just, it works. The thing is though, I'm thinking like, because I don't like where it's sitting right now, like if it were there, it would look nicer once it's snapped down, which means first grab the fuel duct. Come on. Grab you, drag you down a bit, and then grab you, drop it, grab you, drag you down, to where it's like nice and in line with a flat part of this when it's open, and then fucking goddamn it, fucking drop the fucking thing. I kinda like that it. I kinda like that it when it looks like that. Kinda neat. Kinda neat, but it is just a bad idea and a bad design, but it's kinda neat. And then back to you just to see how this works again. So, no, don't change the angle limit, for God's sake, you finally got it there. Target angle, bring it down. Doesn't recalculate there. Okay. Do I note that? How do I even note that? Fuel lines in symmetry do not update in VAB with robotic parts. Okay. Don't know that, that's pretty petty, honestly. I'm not really looking at the traverse rate. I don't know about what's a traverse rate. I don't know what that is. Back to the target angle. So closed, open, closed, open. It's kind of neat. It's kind of nifty. I kind of like it. Okay, so if that's open, this will be its own kind of a thing, you know? It would be a base, it would be a station. It would be a good idea to have it have some of its own electrics, maybe to help, recharge somebody who's there, but really just so that it can be, eventually you'll want it to be controllable in and of itself. In fact, it would want its own probe and stuff, so that's all things that could happen too. The traverse rate is the speed that it opens, but that's what I assumed, because I know what the word traverse means, but it doesn't tell me anything about... It communicates nothing to me to say that the traverse rate is 90 when I don't know what 90 looks like. 90 what? How many 90s? What are we talking about here? Are we snapping? We are snapping, but it doesn't go to a centered point on that. Center it myself by eye if I wanted to do this. Could just have you back there. Do you pass through anything as this thing rotates? I mean, it doesn't matter, but I'm just curious. Oh, it's gonna move with it. It's gonna move with it. That's neat. That's kind of neat. I don't hate that. 90 units. It's 90 units of speed. So that's a little bit of battery, and then with the with electric charge, this is stuff that doesn't necessarily need. Just being a refueling platform, but it doesn't cost me much to put it on there, and wouldn't it be nice? Is kind of what I'm thinking. Wouldn't it be nice? Is kind of what I'm thinking. 0.0175 instead of 0.005. I like that they rotate with the sun. I know once they're deployed, and you're stuck with them forever. Fine with that, I think. And then that's a bad place to put them. You'd actually want them like here. And it would want its own probe just to be able to control it in any way that we might be able to control it. It'd be nice if this had its own monocrop on it. Are we building a fuel platform that can move itself a little bit? Because I think that would actually be kind of cool. It means more build time instead of fly time, but I think that would be kind of cool. I do like that it comes down and then goes back up. This comes down, it goes back up. And then you guys, once you're extended, yeah. Actually, this being the case, this would be one where I would want them to be retractable. Because what if you're bringing in a ship that's got weird shape to it? You'd want to be able to communicate to the probe and tell it, pull in those things so I don't bump them off while you're coming in for them. So yeah, more of these, and this time it's going to be the 1x6s. But it's going to be the retractables. That's an idea that I had there. Extend the solar panels just to see what they look like. That height. Yeah, they look fine. Okay, so that would be those. Don't forget the place of the solid boosters. Oh fuck! Fuck me! Fuck me right in the places. Yes. Well, we will have to deal with that, won't we? Well, we will have to deal with that. Well, now I can move this whole thing just by pulling that off and then readjusting the fuel lines. So I think we're okay. Because I need to think about one thing at a time, and that often is too much. But so if you're up there, and the other thing would be, can we control you? If you've got liquid fueling you, which would be great, do I have any, like, little liquid fuel engines that are, like, ants that we could use like monoprop? Except for they're not controllable that way, Paul. The ants don't, they're just all on or all off. You can't, like... And it doesn't look like I've got any of the engines that would allow me to do... Can't remember what they're called, but that would let me use, you know, RCS controls for liquid fuel. Which really kind of sucks. That we can't do that. I could literally, like, keybind the ants to enable and disable so that we could make adjustments to it and stuff. I think the better solution, Pawn? Yes. I think the better solution would be to just give it the ability to electrically, with wheels, with reaction wheels, rotate itself, and then, you know, some ability to propel itself. Not with a fucking mainsail that we don't need. But, you know. Or these things. It's the only reason I'm kicking off this lower stage. The whole platform could store more fuel if I, you know, had that, but we're bringing up these vectoring engines for the TWR, really, that we needed. And so it kind of makes sense to just throw the whole thing off. Otherwise, I would make just the engine detach. I don't want to redesign that entirely like that. So what were you thinking, Pawn? No monoprop. No monoprop? No monoprop. All right. Instead, we give it reaction wheels. Okay. We have a place for that here. So it would have its own reaction wheels. It's gonna need a probe for it to control itself. And it's, you know... I'd put the fucking Stay Putnik on there if there was a place to stick it. And there is. And there is. Because it's like, I don't need... What do I need? The SAS would be very helpful. Well, this thing doesn't have SAS. Alright, alright. But the Octo is more than enough for this. And there is a place to stick it. I can think of one anyway. And it would be like in here. In one of these, you know, connection points. On the inside of that, baby. Yeah. 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 So that would be if I detach you here, and then you to that, and then what? Oh, you flipped it on me. Like that. It's upside down. That would be the other side. You know, from a horizontal approach, which is probably how we'll be approaching this thing to refuel at it, that would be, you know, reasonable. Now that's two of those where you only need one, but, you know, what am I going to do for balancing? It's the equivalent of having one hex on there, but these actually fit kind of somewhere on the ship. Will it fly? Place your bets now. Why wouldn't it fly? And then this would have to be attached to the other end of things. In fact, if I attached here first and then came back to the ship, would that be better for it being able to update itself? I mean, it's certainly not better for that being a snapped position or anything. Absolute. It's a twist. And then with whatever twist you got here, absolute. Thank you. And then when I rotate it, now that I've done it that way, target angle, they actually follow. Okay, so if you attach the end, the one end, that's a problem with Kerbal Space Program overall. Let me just update my little note here. Fuel lines and symmetry do not update in VAB with robotic parts when attached to the static side. Yeah. It depends on which side, because they only ever track for these kinds of parts for for things like this that have 2 attachment points, struts and fuel lines, they only ever track where you place the first one and the angle at which the second one goes off. And they need to track more in KSP2 just for better designing. Is that pivot joint stock or mod? It's stock. It's actually stock. I'm here from your mic reviews, says ZGXTH. It's getting a lot of attention lately right now. The algorithm caught up to it. Maybe somebody else someone more popular made a video about it, about that particular model, but I'm getting a lot of views on that video right now. And I'm actually thinking about doing a video that shows my audio setup for my live streams between Voicemeeter and Reaper. It is difficult. It is complicated to set this up. There are no tutorials out there. You just got to kind of invent it as you go to get what you want. I mean, if you wanted there to be like the ability to have a second person speak, but it's you, but it's got like different effects on it, which would be weird. I can't imagine anybody wanting to do that.
Yeah, me either, Pawn.
You know, if you wanted to be able to do stuff like that, it's a lot of setup for it, and I've had a lot of questions about how did you do that? What are you using? So I'm thinking about maybe showing people how I've done it, because it might save you some money, really, because with, you know, the right amount of software you can accomplish just about anything that they'll sell to you. Did you make virtual audio cable work? Because in my experience it just fucking doesn't. Yes, I did. Yes. And I've got a lot of information about it, so yeah, that would be a thing to make that video. So it can generate its own power, it's got probes on board. Can I from here say hibernate and warp auto and hibernation on to start? We should be okay with that. Yeah. It would be on both of these probes, hibernation on and auto. So those are both in hibernation when we start. What else do we need then? We've got the control ability. We need communications. We would need to be able to communicate from this thing if the probe is going to control it, which means I need another couple of dishes. And let's have 2 of them, again, for symmetry. Extend antenna. They certainly do look cool when you put them on like that. Oh, and they come out very, like, 90 degrees because of the slight inset of that part. I'm good with that. Okay. But everything that we've just done there is just, like, that's one big thing that's got fuel on it to just drop into space. But if you wanted to turn this into, like, a base or something, then what you would really want to do is the part that you're dropping off would want to have its own larger docking port, so that you could then attach another thing to it and build this into something else later and have just that be like the fuel and fueling restation, you know, restocking area and stuff like that. Is there a... No. Shit. So should I do that then? Should I... Wow, that's a weird looking decoupler, isn't it? Should I do a fairing on that? Just that little tiny area right there? It'll always be on this thing too. If I put it there, if I put it on the other side, then it'll be probably in therapy. Anyone else wonder what Houston is doing while Pawn's building these ships? I would not like to imagine, if I'm quite honest with you. Extend that solar panel because I just noticed these are upside down. But it is facing the direct... Well, it's always going to face in the direction that you want it. Let's have these facing right side up, because they turn toward the sun. So those would be like that, and then when you extend them... I think I liked it better the way I had it before, yeah. Do you think it's necessary to put a fucking fairing on there? I don't want it to look like that because that ruins how nice the rest of the ship is. It looks like there's a big weakness point there. So I'm gonna have a fairing, I guess. Where do I fucking put it? Put it on one side or the other. If I had a stack separator instead, then it would still be stuck to things, and yeah. Alright, Fine. Give me a goddamn fairing. Give me a goddamn motherfucking fairing just to cover over this. Okay, covered that. You're in. Right. So, if this is the refueling platform, once we've broken off, right, fire away from that, push away. I'm gonna reduce the force percent of this too. I'd rather drift away slowly and carefully than be thrown away at high velocity. They're so close to one another, these parts. Once they're two ships, this could be problematic. Like, they're overlapping a bit. Oi. I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of that. And there's like nothing I can do either. You could grab this, but like it's attached perfectly to the you know, it's right where it's supposed to be without any like air between it and the craft. So if I pull it out by 1 pixel, I think we managed to get 1 pixel extra, but there's really nothing else I can do with that. You know? Quick save? I will definitely quick save before we detach it, but it's still... You know? It's a bit, Maybe I should have full fucking force percent because of that issue. We want it to push away quick, because things could go really wrong. Just do a quick simulated test on the pad. I guess that would show us if it's glitching, but it will show us glitching in gravity. I don't know how useful that is to me. Anyway, I'm gonna just step away from that and say, what else does this need if it's a refueling platform, okay? What happens is this breaks off, like so, and then this ends up being our refueling platform from here down. These things push out. We've got comms, we've got a little bit of electrical storage. I wouldn't mind having more. These store a bit of electricity, 10. These store 50 apiece, so that's 100. We'll be constantly generating electricity with those. It doesn't really need fucking electricity for much or anything. It just looks a little bit threadbare on the inside of all this, which is a nuisance. You should come to work drunk one day. Oh, he's done that so many times you don't even know. I mean, I could just put, like, one of these big sumbitches in there instead. Would it look, like, more... I think it might look really cool, actually, if this were in there instead of the other. So, if I can I get the other one off? This will be a bit of a trick. No, it won't. Okay, so you go away, and then with this guy, I get you snapping. Do you get a dead center? I don't think these do dead center when attached on that side. But if I put that in there... Oh. Oh. Oh, yeah. It's so good. I think a little bit further back. God, that's so good. Alright, and then just to see it move again, target angle. Alright, so that's the more electricity that I wanted. It can generate its own electricity. It has comms. It will just be LKO somewhere. My big concern, one, is I can't make it move because I don't know how. I don't know how those work. Germacian said to get a controller. Intelligent programmable controller can manage a number of parts across a vessel. So this controller, 0.1 tons. I don't know, so I just need one of them, presumably, right? It's just 0.1 tons. What's the weight of that antenna? 0.05, shit. So there's something that I've got here that's 0.1 tons that I have 2 of that I really only need 1. The probe is not 0.1 tons. The probe is 0.1 tons. But this is a surface mount part, and that is that, and I just, it's not gonna, I'm gonna go with that, okay? I'm gonna go with that. It doesn't need to be offset by something. It can just be like over here, I guess. With snapping. And then zoom it. The Cal 1000, okay. Holy fuck, he's still building. Madman. Yes, well, we're trying to do robotics now. So, is this just like play, pause, play direction forward, loop mode, controller prior, open editor? Oh god. Save. Open editor. Okay. So actually, what we'd want to happen... So this is just going to record what I do, and then do it again? You guys. Angle limits, or no. Traverse rate? No, not the fucking traverse rate. Target angle, 0. So we would start at 0 with you guys, and then with this madoodle majigger, this looks complicated. Row, point. Click to play, pause, loop mode, action groups, add fields to control via action groups, point. So add a row.
Pawn the builder, can he fix it? No.
No. No, I don't know what. Do I click on? Okay, you don't click on that while the editor's open. What? Open the editor. I mean, I don't need it to be automated if I can just grab things, but I don't see how you even start something. How you even make the first point, because all the things are, like, grayed out currently. You know, like, make a row. No, I can't. I can't do that. I can't do any of these things. They're all grayed out. They're inactionable. So where would you even start in making something? Resize the scale. That doesn't help me. Previous point, next point. How do you even start something, you know? Do you have to have an action group first? So the cal, and then I would have to click on something else in order to get the ability to have my customs. The cal, let's put it on 8. No, let's put it on 0. Put it on 0, and, that's not what I want. I want the cal. How did I... So back to the... Is it you? Toggle same, toggle loop, toggle play. That didn't change anything in here. Add fields to control via... Boom. 8. 10. How do you even start? If all of the buttons are off, and these are just, like, position things, and this is just, like, how it looks, how do you start using it? Good design. Very good design. Exactly what I expect from the people who made, you know, this. Surprised he's not raging yet. I don't... How do you start? How do you start a single entry in here? Manually put times and values in? No, I can't click on them. Give it time, says Pika-Pup. Does anybody have any idea if I can just make these things... We'll put it out on the pad and we'll test it, because fuck it. I don't... Maybe I don't even need the fucking controller. Take the controller, take 2 controllers and stick them up your ass. Okay? Maybe I don't need it. I don't fucking know. Maybe I can just right-click on it and drag it to the open position. I don't... What else you got? You got a rotation servo. Flush-mounted servo has reduced output, just hiding all the motors. It needs a motor for the hinge. The hinge needs a motor. That would make sense. Maximum motor and output and traverse rate. All right, so motor, rotation servo, MO6. Just guessing by the weight. This is very small. Okay, give me a small motor. So maybe that's why the thing wouldn't work, was because there wasn't a motor on it. Oh my god, you attach to so many things. Oh, do I have to then attach the thing to the motor? Because it's got nodes all over it. So Say you're there. Grab you. Nope. Yeah? Yeah. So then, like that. And now I've got a motor to drive it. Okay, I need 2 of these things, though. 2. You no longer line straight up with the thing, but I can fix that. I can just light it up a little bit more like that. Oh, but then it will break the motor off. I mean, it won't, but it would theoretically break the motor off if that were the way that works. You aren't going to solve this easily. You have to assign the hinges to the controller. Assign the hinges to the controller. If it's just a matter of I didn't have a motor on there, so there was nothing controllable, then I think I can see how this might actually fucking work. So you open the editor, and now, because I've got a motor attached to a hinge, no, I still can't do a goddamn thing. You say I have to assign the hinge to the motor. Motor... Assign the... Alright, yeah, no. No. Shadow Dragon HD. If you click on Action Groups in the editor, there is a section on the left side of the screen under the tab selection which says Fields. Okay, so you want me to do this? Open Editor, Action Groups, and then there is a tab selection left side of the screen under the tab selection which says Fields. So you got me to open the Action Groups, well in the editor, left side of the screen, tab selection which says Fields. Run poem, what shadow? Click on the hinge. Click on the hinge. Okay. This still isn't, that doesn't, so hinge, and then we want the target angle. We've got target angle now. Oh my god, this is so intuitive. And then in order to change the target angle over time, you do the full scale of time, the value. So down here, can I add a value now? No, okay, then add a point. I can't interact with any of those either. Okay, okay, no, that's good. And then the motor, you know, we'd want to, with the motor, obviously, only if there was some kind of in-game manual. Yeah, let's just read through the fucking KSP wiki page, because it's so concise, up-to-date, and useful. If only, they could put it on the menu bar with a little book-looking icon. They could, and then you could actually try and find information in it that wouldn't be helpful. Or, you know, you could design a system that doesn't need you to read a fucking manual. But that's a good idea too, just, you know, creating a browser window in your game so that you can explain it in text because you have no ability to communicate to the player through design. That is a good, that's an option for some developers. I have a video if you want, Ronan Plot. I think it's not gonna happen, is the thing. Once again, proof that the mod did it better, didn't they? Don't they? They always just steal their things from the modders and then put their name on it. So they actually developed this themselves, for once? Click on the cal? What's a cal? What's a KAL? The cal? There's a cal. Click on the cal. So I got the cal up. I've got a hinge in here. I got axis, I got actions, I got axis fields targeted, the cal's in there, and open the track editor's open. I still can't make a point or a row, so we're now really down a fucking rabbit hole here of all you have to do is attach the part, open the action groups menu, then select the part that you want, and then add that to the controller fields, and then come back to the thing. You'll see this has been added, but you still can't do anything. Next step is... click on the green line. Click to expand. And then instead of just expanding it when you come to it, you have to click on it to expand it, because, you know, if it just expanded, you might have a chance of knowing what the fuck's going on. And then from here, now I can add points. I mean, it's a brand new window, so it could just expand it right open for you. The one that the starter one could just open when you do that. That would require design, though. That would require design. I'm gonna guess that a point in time. Oh, did I not have to add one? Is there already a point at the beginning, or did they not do that for me either? Because the point, then copy rows, curve pattern, flip. Okay, so that's shit that I don't think I need. I'm guessing a point is a point at which there is a value. And then I want the value at the end. Can I just click on the line and add a point? Double click on the line and add a point? Then drag you up to the max. Okay. This is... I'm an audio engineer. Part of what I do, and I've been doing that for a long time. This is more complex than working with parametric equalizers. This is more complex than figuring out how your compression settings relate with gain and ratios and the F's, the periods and stuff like that. This this reminds me, the reason I bring that up is this reminds me of interacting with really badly done MIDI interfaces. This is what that looks like. It's great. It's really good. So, but now I've got a point set and a point stopped. If I were to then go here and like play. Okay. And then it snaps back to the original position. But that's because we're in the editor. So then what I'd want to do would be to add another point, actually. Like if I were to, can I add a point here? Oh, gotta click on it to open it up. Add a point here, and then if you're in the middle, and then you're back there, and then this is a stop point, I presume. Like I want you to stop there. No? Oh, I've done horrible things now. You don't need the motor. I don't need the motor! Oh, good! that makes sense. I'm glad, because it's simpler, you would think, anyway, but I don't need the motor? Fucking excellent. Get rid of the goddamn motor. So you, back on here. Oh, okay. Yeah, no, maybe the way that it was attached just a moment ago, Kerbal Space Program, game that's been in development for 9 years, maybe the way that it just was moments beforehand. Like that. So you're back on. 2 of them, please. 2 of them. There you go. Okay, but we're figuring out robotics. So do I need a point where it will stop? And if I do, then these curves are really annoying. Or can I just go there and then when I play, will it do it in reverse? I presume? This is very complicated, isn't it, though? Like, do I need a point in the middle? And then that is a point and it will be a stopping point? Can I indicate at the end that it goes in reverse, or do I just assume that it plays it first in one direction and then plays it in the opposite direction, or do I have to rebuild that from scratch? Maybe there's a thing in here where you can like reverse play direction forward, play direction aha. So I don't need to do that. Get rid of you. No, this is just so intuitive and straightforward, and it's really the best system that I could imagine in. Yeah, I mean, if you gave me like 3 minutes, I couldn't imagine anything better than this. So play it. I've just set it up the same way that it was before. Play direction, reverse. Play direction, forward. Okay, but what we actually want from this is we want it to start in the other position. So we should be starting at That's the rate, pawn. You've accidentally grabbed the rate. I love these guys. They make such good games. Oh, and now the fuel lining is embedded in the yep. That's how that happened, everybody. Let's open it back up. Target angle. Yeah, they're rigid now. So I'll have to just reattach them because it doesn't remember. There to there. And then I'll grab you. And second snapping point. Second second end of it's the second point, the second attachment point of fuel lines slash struts instantiates at weird wonky angles. And just to confirm this, now that I've got control of this, can I snap that and like get it to... It does not. I have to fix it. Can I... Wait a second. Let me just triple check. I mean, it's still a design issue, so I'm gonna note it, but can I, while I'm placing it, hit the snapping button again? No. So you can't actually snap it. The ankles and refuses snapping during placement.
Just wait till you play around with rotors and plane propellers.
Oh, I'm gonna be
more complicated.
Yeah. Why would you make a system that, is natural to interact with when you could make one that's just archaic and esoteric and hard to penetrate and deeply, complicated to understand, so that your fanboy hug box of assholes who love to go, actually, will have yet another thing that they can shout, actually, about, as they get to explain a system that didn't need to be this complicated to someone who doesn't understand it. Well, then arguing that it actually does need to be this complicated because... on Reddit. On the Kerbal Reddit and in the forums. That's not how you spell actually, Nerd God. It's ACHSTHU. So now that's out and that's reattached. Those should be like figured, so then when we go to the target angle, we put it all the way up to there. Good, we've got them all the way down, except for this one doesn't work because fuck me. I don't care. And then you, with the play direction, now when I play you forward... No. No. Play direction, well, let's reverse it to get it back to where it was in the first place. And then it's doing it, so we have to edit this because we want it to go the other direction. Because the play from where it starts... Wait, no, this would be this. Yeah, this is the starting position. Just go to... So, open the editor, and then you actually need to be... Alright, click on it, and then you actually need to be here at the beginning, and then at the end, we want you there. Right? And then forward from the start of the playhead, open the editor again to confirm that's where the playhead is. Cocksucker. And then boom, it plays. And it doesn't actually make movement until there. Okay, so let's, I guess, even though I've done the limiting on its movement, I guess I have to also limit its movement here manually. That's great. So that would limit that movement, and then play direction in reverse. Go ahead and return from where you came. It'll happen a little bit slower, more controlled. When we're done, we're back at 0. Okay, so we can now open this thing, and yes, it works. There we go. There we go. Actually, that mechanic isn't a bunch of duties. Alright, so put you back down because that's where we want you. The animation just works brilliantly, especially on that side where the fuel line just and disappears on the, they took their time, they finally crafted this massively overcomplicated system. So that does that. Now this all would want to come up with us is a thing, and so that's going to be part of our drag.
You could add more point and make it flap its wings up and down.
I could add more points and have this like collapse on itself in other ways. Like, here's an issue that I just occurs to me now. If I put you, we're in play direction reverse. No. Okay, forward, play it. So it comes up. But here's the thing. On the way up, we would kind of want cones, nose cones at the tip of this. Little nose cones, wouldn't we? So put it back down. Which means there's not going to be space for them. I've got these little guys, and they're too big. And they're too big. Oh, and also we don't have an attachment point there because of the way that I attached them to that. So this is going to be drag that is just there, which means that this is almost useless. All this, like, mechanics and stuff to try and, like, that's a lot of surface area for drag. And if I break things off of here, oh my god, will I ever get them back on? Just say fuck it and send the list of annoyances to Elon Musk. He'll fix the game faster than the owners. Possibly. Alright, let's rip them off and see if I can't get this on, you know, in a way. Like, it's surface attachment is what I want. You can't surface attach to that. But you are a surface attachable part. Maybe you can, and it's just because the game changes the angle of the part every time you take it off and on of something. So if I was like that, like, this isn't attaching on the node. That's importantly, I am not attaching, like, I'm not doing this. Why would you do that? I'm not doing that. So this should be surface attached, which should leave that node still available to us. Fuck. Because this is not, it's surface attached. So it's surface mount attached, and then if I, with absolute snapping, drag with absolute snapping, there we go. Now you're actually attached to the thing. You're embedded yourself into the thing, but, you know, you are technically attached anyway, so that's that. And then the idea for me would be to then take this part and rotate it, not the you know, thing, rotate it with absolute snapping, and then you over here, and then you up like this, and over like that. Basically like that. And now I should have that attachment point. And I do! Okay. I was about to shout, and I don't! Of course I fucking don't! So now that is completely aerodynamically sound. You're welcome. But yeah. Okay, we're very close now to this thing actually working. Very near to this almost maybe being something that could possibly at some point in future be ready to fly. I am interested in, what are these? Structural tubes. Structural tubes. Okay, you're big. You're too big for me, and then the structural fuselage I know is the same size as that. Yeah, I was just wondering if there was something like I could build with that wasn't these, that was cylindrical and did go straight down, but that was empty. And the T-12 being the lowest weight of them, these are all going to be bigger than that, so the answer to that question is no, unless I used a fuel tank, and then I would be looking at by mass. Liquid fuel fuselage is very small, and I could empty it, and then that would be aerodynamic. Wouldn't store any fuel in it. I think this will look cool, too. I'm willing to take the time to do it, because it's kind of cool. Structural tubes have huge amounts of drag. Really? What about liquid fuel fuselage? Okay, so yeah, you sit over there, and then I'm gonna apparently detach all of the parts that I took all this time putting together. And then rebuild it yet again. I came up with a better way. So that's you, and that's you. Oh, am I gonna be able to attach this with that on top of it? Surface mount. Maybe. Maybe. Ah. Is there a better place to put the probe? Yeah, actually. Put it here, because otherwise it's going to have, you know, multiple control points and neither of them are going to be really what we want. Alright, so you save there, and then I can't get the U out of there, can I? I'll pull out another one. So I know all the pieces that go back. Well, no, you're going to be in a different place now. We just changed the design a little bit, but we've got the hinge doing what the hinge needs to do. So the idea is you attach surface with snapping. Snapping does not have effect on this part. Cool. It's fine, but it is surface mount. And then you, with the snapping on the absolute, now you're snapped to top dead center. We're going to drain all that liquid fuel out of you, and then drop you down. And that was the 3-hour mark. Jesus, Paul. What? It's fun. This is the fun part. This is where you get to build, and then you go into space and things are fucking boring and you're staring at a map mode. Tell me I'm wrong. Be another one. And then take out the liquid fuel. By the way, what's your structural tolerance? 10 meter per second impact. That's not bad. I thought it was gonna be way worse than that. So then I put that on there, and now it needs its batteries and the probe again somewhere else. The problem, though, that still does but doesn't it though, is that when we do play, it's going to penetrate itself. Forward. Ah! But it looks really cool. And it actually looks really cool like that, too. I think, yeah, no, that's fine. That is fine by me, because that looks really fucking cool at that point. And it's a nose cone, it's an aerodynamic part, doesn't have to take up space, you could be storing fuel in there. Yeah. I like it. It looks really cool, it looks very sci-fi futuristic, we finally got there. Alright, the only thing that we need to do now, and fucking reverse the play direction to put it back down, and then put you back into play direction forward. No, you weren't done. Sorry, didn't mean to. Are you done now? Cool. But now it needs power and the probe, and I'm thinking since we've already got a fairing up here, we can shove the probe, just one probe in here where we'll have like an idea of what we're doing with this fucking thing when we're doing fucking things with this fucking thing, you know? So if I put you down here, in fact, this could help us. This could help us a lot. This is just the Probodyne. Fuck it. Overbuild, Paul. Overbuild. Have some, you know, you've spent so much time on it, give it the fucking octo. Wait, make sure you save it. Give it the hex. Give it the hex. That's what you want. Yeah, hex. Underneath there. Ooh, wouldn't it be nice to not have the probe core tucked underneath that? It's fine. Because what we're gonna do is it needs electric. And I'm gonna apparently like this. Apparently. Give it, how much do you store? 200 each. That's 400, which is equivalent to this for the same amount of mass. And then I put one of you down. And then we don't have those same issues that we were going to have with the, you know, parts having to, you know, de-separate from one another. I think this what might actually work. I would actually like it to be a little bit lower, if I'm honest. But I think it's perfect. I think it's perfect. Yeah. So a couple of batteries in the probe tucked up under there. And since this is a attachment point for, you know, important things, for the weight of the vessel later, if it were actually turned into something, I'm going to two-sided strut this thing to itself. What are we doing? In here. this absolute. It's local. Give me absolute. Give me a 45-degree angle. Drag you down. Drag you so that you're not penetrating. Make sure you're going to be under the fairing. Kind of like it. Move you in a bit more. Get a nice straight line, boy. Okay, so that's 2 struts. That's strutting on either side of that to make sure that that's a good, strong, rigid attachment point for when we do attach, like, larger pieces of other ships to it. And it's got a probe that will be at the top, faced in the right direction, with its own electric storage there. It's got these rotating docking ports for when we get up there. It's got its own ability to create power. It's got the antennas, which will need to be deployed before we fucking exit the ship. Don't let me forget that shit. Let's put into our action groups for the communications. Let's add these to it. Toggle these antennas as well when we fire the communications up when we're up in space. In terms of, do we have an action group for deploying the solar panels? Toggle light, toggle arming, toggle light, deploy solar panel. I think I'm going to put all solar panels on 8 from now on. That's another thing that you'll want to do, like, regularly. So we'll say 8 for solar panels. So solar panel me, toggle the solar panels there, and where are the solar panels on this one? Toggle the solar panels here in that action group. He's going to forget, isn't he? Forget what? Fuel lines put back. Oh yeah. We don't really... Do we need them? Maybe we need them. I'll put them back, though. Thank you, because they'll look cool. I wanted them there just to look cool before. And also to test whether or not it's going to be a thing that actually functions. Is there anything else? Solar panels, comms, electric, probe. The fairing needs to be rebuilt. You edit the fairing. And you're not going to pass by now. If I had snapping on... Ah, you will. Okay. Right to there. Very nice. Very nice. Loving it. How are we doing on mass? Well, I haven't got the other section on, so you don't know right now, Pawn. And then the fuel lines. I love this kind of build. You know I love this kind of build. I don't love having to fight the fucking game, because the people who designed it don't have any idea about design. At least about designing a fucking game. Go. Play. Open you up. So my attachment point makes sense when it's open. So from here to here. I like it being a little bit low. You know, just a little bit low. And then note that the attachment point is at a wonk and a weird angle, and there's nothing you can do about that. You just have to slam it down and then come back with the rotation tool. Make sure that you're in absolute and then snapping on, and then you can make the 2 corrections necessary, because what the fuck is, you know, there. And then also you do that, and you'll make sure that you're perfectly centered on that point. So it's just mildly correcting everything in the game that someone could have, you know, done who maybe it was their job to do it, but didn't. That's all that's really, you know, but that's it. That's all it's... So those will open like that, and they'll face these directions, and then if there was, the sun was in the other one, I could put another solar panel on down here, just that there's always a little trickle, just a little one down here, you know, because of the way that those open.
Pawn has built Voltron. Where are the laser beam eyes?
I don't see it. Thank you, Germasian. Alright, so the fuel lines are back on both sides. That might be it. So you, play direction reverse, go ahead and play it down. Hopefully, like, physics... Yeah, that's perfect. Hopefully physics, like, doesn't... Hopefully it works in the ways that I want it to work, and not the ways that I don't want it to work, and that's really all you can ever say about Kerbal Space Program. Because, you know, the rules are not consistent for all the claims of, but it's supposed to try to be realistic and hard. But it's not. You just gotta decide from moment to moment which version of realism you're gonna, you know, maybe get from the game. Because in one section it'll decide this is realism, and in another, oh, that's realism. Are you actually gonna stand far enough off for this to reattach and not be an issue? Oh, tell me, yes, baby, baby. Hit me one more time. That would be the snapping point. You're not in the center? You're not in the center. Fucking love. Love it! Now you're in the center. Q, and then if I go up here, you're actually attached to the fairing, which is great because the fairing drops off. I don't have to worry about any of that shit. But fuck, we are penetrating. But fuck, we are penetrating there. Alright, we'll just real quick put in an actuator system that pulls them in closer. What if kind of what I just said, but like that?
You have a fuel line issue going on.
No, I don't. It's fine. I think what you mean is Kerbal Space Program has a fuel line issue going on. Would this even fit in between those two if it were pulled right against the ship? Not really. Okay. Okay. Just checking. Wanted to see. Back me up. Back me up. There we go. Back to there. If I do this, apparently, no snapping. No, that doesn't fix it. Well, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do, folks? So we just need the three in a different position where that doesn't happen. You know, it's fine. We can have these in three-sided symmetry anywhere that we want them. Anywhere. So we'll have it like that instead. That'll be, just make sure it's like that. And then right over top of that engine. Okay. Okay, still attaching to the fairing from all of them. No longer penetrating anything. It's definitely not the way that I want it, but it is a way that it is. It's one of those ways that it is. You know? So there's that. Probably be fine. Right. One big firework. You like it? Can you twist the main engine and then rotate the boosters a third around? Yeah. Let's do this. Right? Yes, there's less force on this side than there is, but it's out further than this is on that relative angle, and then with the other things in the stuff, it should be fine. Let's look at staging for the first time. We might be able to look at staging at this point. Could you imagine it? Could you imagine being able to look at staging? Before you do... Fuck! We're not ready to look at staging, everybody. I lied to you. Before you do... Let's have... Can I do 3 of you? I am doing 3 of you. Are you gonna be... Well, just drop it and find out. Nope, we're clear. We're clear on all those sides. And then... Give me a little bit of space there. Okay. And then that one fuel line is just saying hi to everyone. Hi, little fuel line! How are we doing on mass? 134 point whatever tons. Alright, what if we looked at staging? So, you guys fire as the 3 big ol' SRBs go off. Boom. The next thing that's going to happen is we're going to drop those SRBs as we kick up the mainsail. I believe that's what we're firing to there. This fairing gets the fuck out of my space. It's the mainsail, then you guys, right? And then Did you not get crossfeed? Told you to have crossfeed. Yeah, I've enabled crossfeed through that, so the fuel should transfer through to there from all the places. I'm not going to worry about the delta V right now. I'm not going to worry about what the delta V reading says. Let's get our staging set up. So, drop the ship, fire the SRBs. Then drop the SRBs, fire the liquid fuel burning engine. We want that to push us all the way out to space, which it probably won't. Which is a big problem because this ship needs to be, that's a fuel station, so it's got to have some fuel of its own. But then once we're in orbit, we would drop the fairing there. We would also drop the fairing here, so that's our, like, fairings away moment. And then we would drop the engine on that stage. Don't worry about that. Then we would decouple the upper ship, the actual garbage truck itself that we designed in the first hour of the 17-hour live stream, that hasn't run a single mission yet. We would drop that, and we would fire this engine, is what would be throttling up for that. Yeah, bang and bang. And then down on the other craft, oh, you guys are supposed to be firing with the liquid fuel here? Here? There we go. Yeah, so you fire along with that. All three of those are going. When we drop those three, these two, and then da-da-da, and then we drop those more in space, and then you're free to go and do what you're gonna do, and this gets dropped off of that side of the ship. Yes. Yes. Looks pretty good. So, to look at the TWR and Delta Vs and stuff like that, we're looking at sea level right now. So at sea level, these SRBs are going to give us 1100 meters per second of Delta V, or thereabouts. And at sea level, this stage is telling us that it's only going to give us 1455 meters per second of Delta V. Where'd all my fuel go? Carrying up a little bit more weight. But where'd all my fuel go? We've got exactly the right TWR for this kind of thing. Presuming that, like, we drop the SRBs at, say, 8 kilometers, we got 1600 meters per second of Delta V in there when we transfer, on top of 1,000, that's 2600. And it gets better as we go up, but it's not going to get that much better, you know? It doesn't get that much better along the way. So, why no fuel be not enough? Did I really add that much weight to the lifter stage that this is not enough fuel now? Or is it just like some bullshit that I haven't taken into account? So once again, look at your fuel delivery. Liquid fuel. You can't suck from any of those places, but you're sucking everything from here all the way down and sending it out to those engines. Okay. And this is just, it looks correct. It looks correct, and it looks like we just don't have enough fuel. Which can be, hang on. Fuel delivery overlay is part specific. Must turn off twice when already active in VAB. Just another little bug in the UI. I mean, we've got the engines that we put on here, we put on there to get the TWR that we need, so the more fuel that I put on, the harder it's going to be to push this sumbitch up. Can add fuel in swing out dock. Sorry? Can add fuel in swing out dock. I could siphon fuel from up here. He doesn't need all that Delta V. Like, what this says this is going to have is 820 meters per second. In vacuum, it's a lie. All of that is a lie. It's just not correct. Why is that not correct? Why is that so not correct? It's a very complicated ship. So if the game's having trouble figuring out what is going on, that's kind of fair enough. But, like, what happens here is that this whole stage, give me a save, this whole stage detaches from here And then what you've got there is what they say is 1163, but in vacuum, it's 4,722 on that ship. It's a lot. So we could siphon fuel from the stage. It's probably not a bad idea. Let me just go back to where yeah, that's working. Your little arms, you can put fuel in the docking arms. I could put liquid fuel, but I can't put oxidizer. Yeah, so it would just be weight that we're dragging up. Because we don't have the O part of the LFO. But that's not a bad idea to siphon fuel from the upper ship as we go. You know, it wouldn't change the TWR. We've got way too much fuel, you know, way more than we needed anyway. It's a good, especially at the end of a long-ass build like this, I'm pretty happy for that kind of a concept. Just fucking put in a fuel line and call it a day. Yeah,